What day is it?
Tuesday?
Tuesday night, his ghost returns to wreak his horrible vengeance.
Oh, but tonight's Tuesday night.
Then he'll be coming.
Hey!
Hi! How's it going? You look really nice.
Thank you so much. Mwah. Mwah.
Hi.
Did you know about the parentage? Like, tell me about that journey of when you found out.
No.
And all these money.
I don't know why I've been kind of feeling this kind of thing.
You serious?
No.
I've become more patient and kinder, more patient and kinder.
You're fired.
No, stop getting Bond wrong! The latest example of this effort is the introduction of Inclusion Club.
And if you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. Problem solved.
I'm telling these SJWs, they're going to run companies into the fucking ground.
I'm a raging hot mom.
Say, kids, what time is it?
Tonight's Tuesday night.
It's Tuesday night. We're back for our sixth go-around. We're actually...
Hi.
Howdy. Welcome, cast of Rankin Tours. Let's go around the horn and introduce everybody. First, we'll start to my... I'm getting better at this. To my immediate... that would be my left, your right, audience. The lovely, the effervescent... Lady GeekTime Stacey Wilbur. Hey, Stacey.
Hello, friends. How are you?
We're doing all right. How are you?
I'm excellent, as
How was
always.
the week?
Oh, the week's been great. Yeah, pretty much. I can't think right. I don't even know what day of the week it is anymore.
It's only the second one.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we got a long way to go.
Yeah. It's good.
Below Lady Geek Time is Judah Buddha.
I was going to point to Pete. I was going to call for him. I was like, oh, what an idiot.
Dude brought his laser tag helmet this week.
Yes, I found this in my basement.
That,
oh my God.
Worlds of Wonder.
It almost looks like the Wayland, the alien.
It does.
The Wayland Utah logo?
Yeah,
it does.
I want to say this is actually built off. Remember the Star Trek helmet?
The one with Spock, yeah, the Spock helmet with the
siren on the top.
It does. It also looks like our
Galactic 80 retro version of it.
Yeah. No, I could also see Apollo or Starbuck in that from the Galactic show.
Yeah. You know what? I should modify this if I can get my head into it. I might have to take some of the padding out, but it's a little bit too small.
Boil it and it'll stretch. No.
But you're right. It does look like the Wayland. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought when I saw it.
Also, the creators of Teddy Ruxpin.
Ruxpin.
Ruxpin. The creepiest toy ever created.
Put a tape cassette in its back.
I don't know. Furbies are creepier than a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, they're all kind of... I don't like dolls, period. Below me.
I'm Talkie Tina, and I don't like you.
It's not Talkie Tina.
I'm bad at this.
But it's Pros Pete, not Talkie Tina. Pete Bradley, how are you? Pete is on the road.
I'm doing okay. I'm on the road.
Yeah.
No great curtain here.
What's that?
Thank you.
What's that here? Who?
He likes the Starry Night background.
Oh, yes.
You should steal it and take it home with you and use it as backdrop.
What, you
No.
don't like the gray curtain disguising all the crap in my basement?
The gray curtain is just fine.
That looks like a tennis ball container behind you, but just abnormally large tennis balls.
Yeah, what's in there?
Martial arts belts.
Oh, wow.
Not mine.
Okay.
Not
Take
mine.
credit for them.
I'm nowhere near that flexible.
You should take
So
credit for it.
that's why the Starry Night is going to stay, because the owner of these would kick my ass.
Oh, I don't know. I think you can throw down with the best of them, Pete.
And Keith, you have the
just lay down. It's nothing but dead weight.
Keith. It looks like the red alert in the Star Trek Enterprise. There.
Yeah, under red alert. I had a red alert kind of day actually.
Oh,
Started out as a pretty open day, and it ended up like chaos. It's chaos. But it's all good. We're here.
We're here. We're alive. We're healthy, right? Everybody good?
So far, so good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm having fun with these LEDs.
Yes.
I put LED
Yes,
things
I'm
on.
Yeah, I brought out some new things for my backdrop too. I got some. I got a Poe Dameron.
Is he wearing a laser tag helmet?
I think he is. He's ready to play.
Yes.
I have a New Order TIE Fighter, right? New Order?
Oh,
Not like the band. I think it's New Order. Is that what they call them?
New Republic.
Yeah.
Whatever they call them.
The new war. I don't know. That's those movies
This
are
is
so
the
forgettable anyway.
Old Republic TIE Fighter.
Whoa.
And Etsy, whatever his name was. I don't remember. He was one of the pilots in The Force Awakens.
They'll make a toy out of anything, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
The guy had like 4 seconds
Including
of screen
Jeans Guy?
figure. What's that?
Including Jeans Guy?
Jeans Guy.
Mandalorian, Jeans Guy?
I have yet to see that episode. I've been preoccupied with some other stuff, so yeah.
I actually took these out because I've been playing a lot of Squadrons lately, Star Wars Squadrons. I put them in front of my computer and I play.
You play what?
And we'd readily admit this. That's the funny part.
I think we have a new video series for the channel, True Confessions.
It's such a fun game. I've been playing it almost every night now. It's like my decompression. I just play it, and
Well, we need more videos. You were good on that.
Yeah. Hopefully, maybe we'll do some live streaming if people want to watch me play a video game. Or you can come play with me.
They watch us.
Put your name in the chat, and maybe we can team up.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. Get some users.
Idea.
Before we move forward, I just want to promote this one. Our first really cool guest. Not that our guests aren't cool to this point, of course, but Jay Ignashevsky, not Ignazewski, Ignashevsky. I worked with Jay for a couple of years. I actually knew Jay for, I want to say, 2003, 2004. I met Jay, and he would come to my Final Cut user group meetings and just be a great guy and participate and help out. And then I had a guest, I want to say 6 or 7. So I knew him 3 or 4 years. I had a Hollywood writer come in, and they knew each other. And I walked up to Jay. I said, "How do you know Chuck?" And he said, "Oh, from our days at ILM." And I went, "You worked at ILM? What'd you work on?" Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Star Trek. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, you've been to these meetings.
Just go to the sci-fi fantasy section of the video store. That's my resume, right?
A couple movies you may have heard of.
Jay would come to all these meetings with us corporate video ham and eggers, right? And sit there and politely listen and watch for years, every month for years. And then I find that out. And I said, "Why didn't you say something? I would have had you present." He goes, "Why? It was just a job." So Jay's got some great stories, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun. He's actually, he was asking me to come on, so
cool.
Yeah, looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. You can see there's just a cross section of some of the stuff he's worked on there. So really looking forward to it. Hope we get a big audience and a big chat room for that one, because that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we need some super chats.
Yeah. Also, before we get into this stuff, the weirdest thing happened last week. It was last Wednesday night. I was getting ready to go see Goldfinger. Yes, the Goldfinger, the James Bond movie that's, older than me. And I heard this weird noise outside, and this car crashed into the house across the street.
Oh my God.
So,
oh my God. It missed the eagle, though.
I don't know how.
Oh, it came from this direction.
It was heading northbound on my road, ended up facing southbound. So my guess is she was texting. She was college-aged girl.
That'll do it.
She drifted into the wrong lane, saw a car coming right at her, and went across into this guy's yard. Smashed down the fence, hit the house, and I'm guessing it flipped the car around the other way.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. So,
oh my God.
The second floor started falling down. They had to prop it up.
Imagine you're watching a movie or you're upstairs sleeping, and if you hear like this noise, like a tree hit your house, you go downstairs, there's a fucking car in your living room.
I'll do you one better. That window, Pat has his couch against that window.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So they could have been watching a movie or watching TV. And
I think he was sitting in the couch when it happened.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So you can see the second floor is starting to sink.
Yeah, that's
so he hasn't. I don't think he's been in there since. I've been watching every day. It's boarded up. He had a construction crew over looking at it today.
That's a couple feet from that statue. That wooden.
I don't know how it missed. I mean, if you look, it's hard to see, but the car went right through here.
Yeah.
So there's tire tracks there, and there's tire tracks there.
She must have been flying.
They fly down this road, Stacy. It's
that's crazy.
So back in the summer,
there was an accident 2 months ago, right across from here.
That's right. We were all at Keith's house, and we heard a humongous crash, and we walked down the street, and it was
yeah.
Remember that? There were two kids. I think the thing is one kid was trying to follow another kid, but he blew the stop sign to keep on following him, and he slammed right into somebody.
He pulled right out into somebody going about 55 down the other way.
All young kids.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Although we think one of the kids was shaking out some stuff as he was walking along.
He was like, he got out of the car and he walked away from everybody. He was kind of like hanging around the guy's garden near his house, and
he's just
dropping his stash in the garden.
Yeah. And I think it was the guy who got hit that was doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you could tell he was like pacing around people's yards, like
not obvious or anything.
He was on his cell phone. He was doing it. But it was pretty.
Inconspicuous.
Pretty bad accident. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing to see here. Look away.
Look away.
Yeah.
But that street is deadly. In fact, Keith's driveway is on a hill, and it goes right into that road. So if you back down it, it's almost as if you have to figure out how you're gonna get out of there as quick as possible, because people just come barrel assing.
Wow.
They do. They come flying down. The best part is I go down the bottom, and I wait at the bottom, and it's funny how many cars going by beep like I'm gonna just pull out.
Yeah.
I haven't figured out how to get out of my driveway yet, right? So they're supposed to be putting a stoplight right at the corner here.
Oh, okay.
So that'll stop a lot of this nonsense.
We got a hello.
That's right. Hello, Kim. Who's that?
Connecticut guy?
Hola. Oops, I put holy.
Or is it con guy, like a con or
Connecticut?
It must be Connecticut.
Hola. Oh. Yes.
Autocorrect.
Wonder who that is.
There you go.
Anyway.
So is anybody curious about watching mindless entertainment?
See you at the
always
ring.
Down for some mindless entertainment.
So Billy Mitchell, do you know who Billy Mitchell is?
Yeah, he's a douchebag.
Yes.
Billy Mitchell right now. Billy Mitchell is kind of a Pac-Man. I don't know. He's like that high score Pac-Man. I don't know. He basically got to like stage 225. Played Pac-Man. Like I guess a perfect game of Pac-Man. I can't even talk today. Basically, he's the first one to score like so many million points on Pac-Man.
That was really cool.
And then got to the kill screen. And this was like back in the 80s. And now, he's older. But he's at Galloping Ghost Arcade, which is one of the biggest arcades in the United States. I think it's in Illinois. And for 7 days now, he's trying to actually beat that record again with a perfect game, meaning that he eats all the dots, all the power pellets, and all the fruit and keys and all the other stuff. And you have to not die and get to stage 225, and that's the kill screen.
And you have to eat all 4 ghosts every time too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Geez.
Yeah, that's hard.
So I actually have it below on my separate monitor here of him playing it. I think he's
share your
like
screen.
Stage 225.
And end up with a claw hand, like trying to play. Is he playing like an actual
tunnel?
It's. I mean, you know, if you're big into Pac-Man, and you want to learn actually how to, you know, play Pac-Man and get a high score, I guess this is the way to go. All right, give me one.
I mean, the original Pac-Man is nothing but a pattern anyway. Once you learn the pattern, you're good to go.
Yeah, because the ghost comes out. They come out the same every single time, right?
So
and they follow you around. But
share.
Yeah.
Share screen. Yeah, here we go.
And you're narrating as you go along.
Did I share? Okay.
This is live.
This is live.
Get out of town, really?
Yeah. So this is him. They actually have 3 cameras. See. So right now.
Why didn't they turn ghosts? Why didn't they turn into ghosts?
Oh, I guess he's so far along that
That's right.
it doesn't even change anymore.
Right.
Oh, wow.
When you get to that, I think he's like on level like 50 or 60 right now. But
Oh,
he's
look
been
how
at this,
things are at the bottom.
Damn.
he's been at this arcade for 7 days trying to achieve.
How do you not? Does he sleep? How do you go to the bathroom? Like,
He must.
I don't know. Well, he has this thing. I saw what he does. He has it where he can get the ghosts stuck, where they're in a loop, and basically he can like take Pac-Man and like put him in a corner, and he can actually leave and come back, and the ghost will still be spinning
Weird.
one part of the main. Huh?
yeah, so he must have to sleep or something. You can't just play an arcade game you'll get punchy and do something stupid.
Oh,
Oh,
they're gonna get him. No, he got away.
Stacey wants him to get killed.
I know. I kind of do.
You ever seen the movie King of Kong? He really isn't. He's not likable.
No, he's not.
He's an asshole.
He's pretty much the definition of a narcissist. He's very arrogant.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because I always loved playing Pac-Man or Miss Pac-Man. I like Miss Pac-Man better, but for some odd reason I cannot, like, just watching this. It's not like in Pac-Man the stages really change. The ghosts just get faster. And I guess once you pick up a power pellet in the higher levels, the ghosts don't change anymore. But for some odd reason, this is like mindless. I can't stop watching it, but it's just mindless fun.
You'll have to keep us updated on that as the night goes on.
Wow. I think to complete a perfect game, it takes up to 5 hours.
Right.
So I think he's like an hour or 2 now.
That's really funny.
Damn.
That's insane.
He
So it's live.
fast too. I mean, look how fast.
Look how many keys he has and how many lives he has.
Like in no time.
I didn't even know you could get keys. I don't even know what that is.
I know.
Keys are basically after all the fruit, then it goes to keys, and then it never goes back to fruit after that.
So a key like floats along at some point, like.
No, Miss
Oh, right there,
Pac-Man.
he grabs it in the middle. I see it.
Right, and Miss Pac-Man, the fruit moves around. But
Yeah.
regular Pac-Man, the fruit
It
doesn't.
doesn't.
No, and Ms.
Oh,
Pac-Man.
it sits right there under the rectangle.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So it looks like it's turbocharged or something. It's going a lot faster than normal Pac-Man.
No, I think this is the original. I don't think this is the dedicated. I think Namco. I think Namco purposely made him play on this machine because this is their anniversary machine.
Okay.
So I think this one has Miss Pac-Man in it, Pac-Man and Galaga.
He has it down though. He does the same pattern every time.
Yeah.
It's
So you go to,
it's nothing but a pattern. Once you learn the pattern, you can play
Just keep
indefinitely.
doing it over and over again. Yeah, that's kind of boring.
So if you go to his Wikipedia page, it says here that he and this other guy, Chris Era, reached the split screen level 256 of Pac-Man in the mid 1983. And in 1999, Mitchell claimed to be the first player to achieve the perfect score of 3,330,360 points.
Wow.
And a perfect score means you don't die and you eat every pellet, every power pellet, and every ghost, and every fruit or key.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing every time.
Every time, and they get right on his butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. To me, I know people can't watch this forever, but
well, now it's the same thing over and over though. Like there's no excitement in it to think that he's actually. The first time you see, you're like, oh, they're gonna get him. No, and then it's the same thing every.
Same thing. Yep. It's when he goes around the home base there. It looks like they're gonna get him, and then he gets away
because he's getting the key. That time.
It's cool stuff though, Jude. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah,
that's you have to go to Billy Mitchell's. Maybe I could put it in the chat. His Twitch stream. He actually has a Twitch stream.
Yeah, or send it to me and I'll pop it into the show notes for the replay.
Yep, give me a second here.
So, Stacy brought this one to us.
Yeah, it's been all over the news today.
Yeah. This is what we call.
I figured this was going to happen.
Oh God!
I just hope they try out other people.
Read here. It says additional will be revealed in coming days, weeks. A permanent host will be announced at a later date. I think they might be going with your idea, Stacy, without paying you.
They heard my idea.
They're having a little a trial. They're putting them all out there for a week or so, and
that's perfect. That's how they should. Then you can really
by fan response. So
that's good.
So he's just hosting temporary, right? Until they might find a permanent.
He's just doing it for a week.
So I'm thinking that LeVar Burton will get a temporary spot at some point.
I hope so. Yeah, we'll see.
Or this is just a trial. This is just his trial run. If he stinks, people stop watching, then we know we don't want to use it.
Well, there goes my birthday. That's when he's debuting.
We know what we're doing for your birthday.
We're watching Jeopardy.
Jeopardy-a-thon.
I can't. This guy doesn't seem to have a personality.
I know.
You know who he reminds me of? Remember Jack McNair's character on 30 Rock?
He looks like a Bible salesman.
Oh God, yeah.
Remember? Did anybody watch 30 Rock? Remember Jack?
Yeah, but
he was the page. He was the little PA or whatever.
Oh yeah. He's on Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah. That's who he reminds me of.
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, gee, shucks. Oh boy, wow.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean,
he's definitely smart enough, but
definitely. And this is the right time to do it because I found this headline while I was culling things together. Jeopardy ratings rise after Alex Trebek's death. So not to watch new hosts, but to take in the greatness that was Alex Trebek. But so if you're going to try out new hosts, strike while you got your biggest audience, right?
Right.
You know what's really funny is Bob Ross has his own Twitch channel, and they show episodes of what was the show Bob Ross did?
The
Enjoy the painting.
Yeah.
Enjoy painting. And it gets like thousands and thousands of views. Like people are still engrossed.
So, I loved that as a kid. That was you would just sit there. You weren't even trying to watch it, but you just couldn't look away.
Exactly.
It's mesmerizing.
You're like laying on the couch. Just
Seriously,
stop watching this.
Smiling little
magic. It was like magic.
It was.
Yeah.
And there's a great YouTube video, I think Vice did it, where they're trying to figure out where all of his artwork went because he's never sold any of his art, and they still have all of his artwork and like at the Bob Ross Foundation.
What they need to do is get Geraldo to locate the vault of Bob Ross.
He must have like so many paintings.
Who would want a Bob Ross? I would want one.
I would want a Bob Ross. Heck yeah.
Damn right.
It has happy clouds.
They always have happy clouds.
They have to. If they don't,
happy little trees.
Or happy little
trees, happy little clouds.
Yeah.
Okay, put a little tree.
I might paint
If you had the painting, though, you'd need like the episode, like on DVD of that painting.
That would be very
cool. Just
cool.
Stare at it.
That would be such an awesome thing to have. I would love that.
Hey, whoever's listening, nobody. You gotta get on this. Let's find the Bob Ross archive.
I would even take a print and then have
it's on YouTube. There's it's a little video. It's funny.
You could totally make money for charity, with that. Or
why has nobody thought of that?
I don't know.
What's that?
I'll look into it. I'm gonna look into it.
Bob Ross's archive. That would be kind of cool.
I'm surprised they didn't sell his artwork.
It sounds like your cat approves, Jude.
Oh my God. I just fed him before the show because I knew this was going to happen. Obviously, I didn't feed him enough. Actually, I was eating
a second mascot.
I was eating I got like fried chicken, which I never get. It was in a little container. I walked into ShopRite and it was like right there, and I was like, oh, they put stuff by the door.
Yeah, no, I get that stuff all the time, especially
I was like
too lazy to cook.
And then I got home and I heated it up today, and it was like the best fried chicken I've ever had. I left it in the oven extra toasty. Like I wanted to make sure it was really crispy, and he went nuts. He was by my chair the whole day. So
we have a research assistant.
We have a research assistant with us. Thank you, Brian Weir, Connecticut guy. Wiki says Ross dropped out freshman year. Most geniuses have. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. The list goes on and on.
Eddie Van Halen didn't know how to read a piece of music.
Yeah.
They created tablature because of him.
Did you hear that story about Eddie Van Halen when he was taking piano lessons and because he couldn't read the music?
Yes, I did.
Where his piano teacher would say, piano teacher would play the piece, and he'd tell Eddie when he was learning to read music, to turn the page when it was time. Eddie's like, he didn't know how to read the music, so he would study the guy's fingers and know when to turn the page based on his fingers. And then he played something different one day, and Eddie Eddie said he didn't know. He was like, oh my god, and the guy stopped playing. He's like, you didn't turn the page. And he had to admit, he's like, I don't want to read. Edward Van Halen, one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought this was a pretty cool story.
Oh, yeah, sweet.
Yeah.
Did you see this one?
I saw it.
That means you read your calendar notes.
Yeah, I saw it actually in passing because I love Halloween. It's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I guess the guy died like an hour later.
Yeah.
Horribly sad.
Oh, man.
But he got to see the new Halloween movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And get married, so he's probably.
It sucks. He was 29 years old.
So young.
Talked to her over Zoom, which sucks because she probably would have gone there in person. Otherwise, and I don't know why they wouldn't just let her go in person anyway, because.
Exactly.
He had an hour of life left in him.
Maybe she couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, maybe. But I think that's pretty awesome. Good on her. And it's nice when there's so much negative in the headlines these days to actually see something cool like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good on her. I always liked Jamie Lee.
I always have too.
That's why I hope that that story where she thought the mail truck was being stolen had to be a joke, right?
Well, let's just say it was.
Yes.
And move on from there.
Is she labeled as a scream queen? Would she? Or she
of course she is.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
Scream Queen show?
What's that?
Remember that they had that Scream Queen show on FX or something? Wasn't she like the host?
I never even saw that.
Yeah, that was on a couple of years ago.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Scream Queens or something. I'll look it up in a second. This one I just saw in passing last week, and I found so bizarre because the Grim Reaper follows this dude around, right?
Yeah, it sounds like some cursed stuff going on there.
I mean, geez, the daughter dies in the bathtub. What's her name? Whitney's dead. Like, well,
Whitney Houston. Yeah.
Yeah, like so he's lost his daughter, his son, and his wife.
Yep.
In how many years now? 5? All in within
2012, I think Whitney died.
Oh, 12, you're right. Wow, that long ago, huh?
Mm.
Wait, it says Whitney died in 2015.
No, they messed that's a misprint because if you click on that, it goes to the 2012 article.
In fact, the
daughter died in 2015.
These Access Media blogs, journalists will use that term very loosely. These sites they clearly don't have any editorial because look at this. Legendary singer Whitney Houston died in 2015, accidentally overdosing in a bathtub at the Beverly Hills Hilton in 2012.
Yeah, like that's
3 years to die in the bathtub.
Before, like,
right? She sat in the bathtub for 4 years.
Yeah, I don't know. No, you're
right.
My God.
Well, that would do it to anybody, I think.
That's insane. Like that's bad. That's just bad. Looking that over yourself, you should be able to catch that mistake.
Yes, exactly.
That link, if you click on the 2015, it brings you to the article from 2012.
Oh, you're right. February 11th.
Oh, wow. You're right.
And pop-up ads like, what the?
So that's like double bad editing.
What's with the pop-ups? No, go away. Where's the
pop-ups for everything now?
I can't get it. Go away. For reals.
It's probably really like they hide them now. They hide the X's so you can't find them to get rid of them.
Can't find the X.
And who's going out for Black Friday? Isn't Cyber Monday supposed to be like the hot thing?
Black Friday's already going on. It's like Black
It's been going on for a month.
Yeah, exactly. It's Black Month. So yeah, crazy.
Will there be any trample videos this year? You think?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Store one cities and stuff like that. No.
I don't know. Have you seen
Walmart with tumbleweed?
People are kind of crazy with sales, though, man.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if there's an in-store sale, people wouldn't care if it was like a nuclear bomb that went off.
The sales are already, they're going on. It's not like they're starting Friday. They're already happening.
Yeah.
I was in the store today. There's Black Friday stuff out already.
Yep.
Last week I bought a couple Blu-rays Black Friday, $4, $5. So.
Oh yeah, like I went and bought some Blu-rays because I got my new Blu-ray player on Saturday. So I was in Target and I was like, oh, they're not that expensive. And then Saturday they went on sale, buy two get one free. All the ones I bought are even more on sale. Like, God damn it, I went. It's all right. I went back yesterday.
And then Stacy texted me and told me I'm a bad influence.
No, I was thinking about getting a Blu-ray player for a long time. So now, physical media rules. Keith's right.
I know you'll watch a Netflix movie, then you put the Blu-ray, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, some of them you can buy, and you also have the digital version too, which is cool to have both. I think.
There you go. But Jude's just right, and the movie I go to a lot to show you the difference is The Lighthouse. I watched it on streaming. And it's really high contrast, really well shot, beautiful cinematography. But you'll notice a lot of it's lit with practicals, lanterns, candles, and you'll see the banding as it slowly, the gradient in the light as it fades off into the darkness. You'll see the banding on the streaming. It's really annoying, and you see all the digital blocking and all the digital noise and compression. It's awful. And whereas the Blu-ray, it's much much cleaner because it's a higher bit rate.
Right.
You can't stream at 50 megabits a second like you can on a Blu-ray. So
that's true. Like, yeah, especially for darker. Yeah, that's good. Good to know.
Much more space and higher resolutions.
Yeah, the movie The Witch is like that too. I have the Blu-ray.
Same guy. Yeah,
you got same guy.
Same director. Yeah,
same director. The cinema's always the best cinematography. Always. What's his name? Eggers.
Drawing a blank.
Robert Eggers.
Robert Eggers. Yes.
Stacey, did you ever see The Witch?
No, I don't think so.
God, the Witch? Gotta watch it.
The two V's that make a W.
I don't think so.
It's the Vivitch.
The girl that plays the Queen in the Queen's Gambit, she plays in that movie as well, and she does a good job.
I just watched that, by the way. Anyway.
Did you like it?
I did like it.
It was really good. Loved it.
Cool. We'll talk about that.
So, when I was a kid, I read this book that I absolutely loved called, if I can find it in this, that one, Splinter Mind's Eye, which everyone, when I was a kid, thought this is going to be the sequel to Star Wars. It came out between Star Wars and Empire. Really good book, and it's written by a guy named Alan Dean Foster, who also wrote Alien and other Star Wars novels. He actually
wrote everything.
Apparently, Disney's screwing him.
That's not cool.
Disney's screwing him. They don't want to pay him anymore.
Disney's screwing somebody out of money? The heck you say?
Right. So, I guess they're trying not to pay any more royalties to this guy in their purchase of Lucasfilm. They must feel that his deal with Lucasfilm is null and void. So that kind of sucks. I mean, this guy, he was on recently on Inglorious Trexperts. They had him on. It was really, really good listen.
Does that mean he needs to change all the names in his book?
No, it means they're going to keep printing him and making money and screwing him.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, that's not right at all.
Like I said, he needs to change all the names in the book and then resell.
Right.
Well, I don't think it'll sell as well if it's,
I mean, like
fighters starring Joe Smith and Bill Thompson. It's just not going to really work.
The Jedi previously known as
Luke Starbucker or something like that.
Yeah.
Ham salad.
What really sucks for him is
the Wookiee monster.
They also own Fox now, Disney. So all his Fox properties are also compromised. Like So he's getting a double ender from Disney here.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. He's one of the premier sci-fi authors, and again, I grew up reading his books. So,
there's the South Park episode. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
which one?
Go back. Go down.
Oh,
Remember he beats the shit out of that guy.
that was the best. Have you seen?
Oh my god, it's so funny.
Have what?
Sorry.
Have you seen this episode of South Park where they?
I haven't seen too many new. I'm only the.
This was probably 5 years ago, I'd say. They crushed Disney on South Park. They crush them.
Okay.
About
this isn't that old. This isn't that old.
Well, it does have the Avengers.
Yeah.
Isn't that where he's like, "Shut up"?
Yeah, but
yeah.
And Elsa.
Yeah. So, yeah, that sucks though. Alan Dean Foster, growing up, he was a staple of reading sci-fi, and this is one of the first books I ever read too. So he novelized the movie. So
it's his
get your money, bro, because you deserve it. And fuck Disney, man, they're evil.
Is his book considered canon, or is it
The Splinter of the Mind's Eye?
Yeah.
I believe it is. I believe it is because they introduced kyber crystals and stuff like that. So that's canon, if you ask me.
Because there's a lot of books they took out of the lineup.
This was right after Star Wars. Yeah, I was like 10 years old when this book came out, and I just I think I read the whole thing in 2 days. Back before I got old and get tired when I read and have to take a nap. I think seriously, I get through like one chapter and I'm like,
I can't.
I can't read anymore. My eyes burn. It's awful.
I think when Disney acquired Star Wars, before then, Lucas was people would just write a book and he'd be like, "Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. That's fine." He didn't even.
But this one, again, going back to this book, this was the only other Star Wars story in existence at the time. The only one. There was no Empire, no Jedi, no nothing.
Right.
So, yeah. It's got the Ralph McQuarrie cover on it. That's canon right there. Ralph McQuarrie did all the concept art for Star Wars.
Very cool.
I loved this story. Finally, we get an actor who's completely self-aware, right? Who says what we've been saying the whole damn time. Shut up and pretend. I love what he says here. I've always been someone who felt we are court jesters, said Russell, who stars along Goldie Hawn in Netflix's Christmas Chronicles 2. That's what we do. As far as I'm concerned, you should just step away from saying anything so that you can still be seen by the audience in any character. Then he goes on and says, there's no reason entertainers can't learn just as much as anybody about a subject, whatever it is, he said, but I think that what's sad about it is that they lose their status as a court jester, and I'm a court jester. That's what I was born to do. He continues, a court jester is the only one who can walk into the castle and put the king down as long as it doesn't hit too close to home. I think that's been a big, important part of all cultures throughout history, and I'd like to see it stay in ours. So I guess his feeling is that he sees that the fans and people are being attacked all over Twitter and hitting too close to home. They're hitting us, and I can't close that damn window.
I think in this day and age with cancel culture, you got to be careful as a celebrity saying what you want to say, because even if you say it 10 years ago and it was on Twitter, some asshole's going to track it down and say, "Oh, could you say?"
Yeah, like James Gunn. That happened to him, and that's why he got canned from Guardians 3.
Right.
Because of something he said 10 years ago.
I have a really good video I pulled about that. But Hawn and Russell also reflected on, in their opinions, the dwindling number of true movie stars. The pandemic may very well end that notion entirely, they said.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. It's interesting. It's really refreshing to finally hear from someone who's, get truly self-aware of their place in life. I mean, it's like, yeah, I'm an actor. why should I go on Twitter and start telling people they're assholes because they don't believe in the same politics I do? That said,
what are your thoughts on Robert De Niro saying what he politically has said in the last 4 years randomly?
I think Robert De Niro has hurt his brand.
Yeah,
he has absolutely hurt his brand. When you tell anywhere between 40 and 50% of your paying customers that they are assholes, they are not going to pay for your product anymore. It's just stupid.
I don't know. Speaking what your beliefs are necessarily calling anyone assholes, though. You know what I mean? I mean, I see what you're saying.
Saying what you believe is one thing, but then attacking.
What? That, I mean, no one should be attacking anyone. That's just a whole. That's a
difference.
Problem that's going on in every aspect of.
That's the problem. Is they are attacking.
Yeah. No. I don't see how you're going to benefit in any way doing that as a celebrity or anyone else. But
right.
That's the problem.
Of course, he says his piece and then gets attacked.
He got attacked?
Oh, big time.
Of course he did.
People need to stop paying attention to the people that are attacking because it's, again, we've said this before, it's such a tiny minority of people in the world that are complaining about these things.
I have a video I'm going to play in a few minutes that really, it's so good. It's so perfect. Kurt Russell saying this can only hurt his career. We've got 250,000 dead Americans and rising. Trump is AWOL, staging a coup. Really makes Kurt Russell sound un-American not to have our back at this moment. What?
Who's back? Have who's back? People that complain about everything?
Right.
That statement makes no sense. I didn't see anything in that article that reflects what that person said.
Blue checkmark, Rebecca Metz. Silence in the face of cruelty and injustice speaks volumes. Rebecca Metz probably also backs looting and violence from the left. Jacob Lara, we're not stupid. Never start a tweet by saying we're not stupid because followed by sheer stupidity. We're not stupid. We know you're a human, and if I'm going to invest my money, time, and energy in adoring your work, I need to know where you stand as a human. There are a gazillion good actors out there. I will be hurt if you are a bad human, and we'll move on to the next. Like I said, don't ever start a tweet like that with "We're not stupid." Stupid.
Con guy asks, "How about Springsteen?"
The least brave thing I've heard this year. He just made all of the characters he played weaker. Good job, wrinkly toolbox. From the tolerant left. So actors shouldn't have morals. Gross. It just.
That's not what he said.
No, that's not what he said. But that's Twitter.
It's not what he said.
How about Springsteen? I don't know. What did he do something?
I haven't seen anything from Springsteen really. I saw one interview, but it was
maybe just off his music in general is like a political statement. But the Twitter mob is out of control, and it's just this is why I don't have a personal Twitter account anymore. I'm done with it.
I never use Twitter. I mean, Facebook's just as vile, but Twitter seems worse.
Twitter's an absolute shithole, and it's there's going to be a mass exodus. There's a hashtag that already started Twitter exit, and a lot of people are bailing at the end of the year. Twitter already is acknowledging they're seeing a huge drop in their users. It's the worst.
Well, I think the issue is they're fact checking, but now what they're doing is they're going against anything that people have an opinion if it's conservative. That's the issue.
That's not fact checking. That's
you can't fact check everyone's bullshit, complaint.
It's not fact checking. It's censorship.
But it's not possible. But there's so much bad. It's just all gross.
It's censorship from. Did he really? Yeah, I'm just like all the celebrities that threatened to move 4 years ago when Trump won too. So, yeah. So,
I seem to recall Rush Limbaugh saying he was going to move to Costa Rica if Obama got reelected. So,
right.
It's all blather.
Right. Thank you for the compliment, Con guy. Appreciate that. We're just trying to call it like I see it. When I see stupid shit, I don't care which side it's on. I'm going to call it out.
Yeah.
So I sound like I got the coop. My voice is shot today. It's allergies. It's just.
You need one of those.
Ricola. Yeah. You know what it is too? I forgot to take my what is it? The Zantac or whatever? Not Zantac. What's the allergy thing?
Zyrtec.
Zyrtec. I forgot to take it. So now, like, I can't take it late in the day because it's 24 hours. So I have to wait tomorrow morning to take it. And that's part of the problem. Totally forgot. And I forgot to take my honey too.
Wash your hands, says the cam guy.
Always wash my hands.
Do you have any tea that's decaffeinated?
I'm drinking iced tea.
No, hot tea.
Hot tea. That's what gets everything kind of
fluid.
Loosens up
Cocaine.
the throat.
Or that.
I love the cocaine. I love the cocaine.
So anyway, Twitter's a shit house. So I actually pulled this Bill Maher. Gary at Nerdrotic brought it up, so I went and found it.
Snail.
Bill Maher did. It was at the end of his show, he does the new rules.
Yeah.
And it was about this very topic last Friday. And I thought it was really good. So, of course, it's like 9 minutes long. So I chopped it down to about 3.5. And I got all the important points that kind of back up what we're saying. I'd like to play it now for the audience.
You should.
And I will courtesy Bill Maher. So when he sues us, I could say, hey, we gave you credit.
The New York Times described a post-election conference call between Democratic leaders where they wept, cursed, and traded blame. Wait, I thought we won this one. Their share of minority votes went down. The message to Democrats from so much of the country seems to be, we don't like Trump, but we still can't bring ourselves to vote for you. If Cracker Jack was made of popcorn and dog shit, and half the people threw out the popcorn should want to know why. Let's ask Ruben Gallego. He's a congressman from Arizona, and he was asked how his Democrats could do a better job connecting to Latinos. He said, first, start by not using the term Latinx, which the vast majority of Latinos have never heard of, and when they do, don't like it. Who likes it? Pandering white politicians who mistake Twitter for real people. Virginia Congresswoman Abigail Spanberger said after the election, if we are classifying Tuesday as a success, we will get fucking torn apart in 2022. That's a congresswoman. She was urging members not to talk about defunding the police. James Clyburn agreed. Defund the police is killing our party, he said. Pennsylvania Democrat Connor Lamb says Democratic rhetoric needs to be dialed back. It needs to be rooted in common sense. Thank you. Politics in this country is binary. You have to wear everything anyone on your side does. And Democrats are the party of every hypersensitive social justice warrior, woke bullshit story in the news. They're the party that disappears people or tries to make them apologize for ridiculous things. Anne Hathaway apologized last week because in her new movie she plays a witch, a fictional character that has 3 claw-like fingers, and that's offensive to people with limb differences. Hey. NBC held an emergency meeting to determine if Mario Lopez should be fired from his job at Access Hollywood. I thought, holy shit, did he sexually assault somebody? No, he went on a podcast, and when the host brought up the trend of liberal parents letting toddlers pick their gender identity, he said, my God, if you're 3 years old and you're saying you think you're a boy or a girl, I just think it's dangerous as a parent to make that determination. Cue the groveling apology, followed by America saying, yeah, I think Mario's right. Maybe kids shouldn't make big life decisions while you still need to make choo-choo noises to get the food in their mouth. I can do this all day. Cite stories, big and small, that are endlessly on people's news feeds, that add up to a constant drip, drip, drip of these people are nuts. That's what people vote on, not policy. Democrats kept saying in the campaign, you can't possibly think Trump is preferable to what we're selling. And many voters keep saying, yes, we can. In fact, our primary reason voting for him is to create a bulwark against you, because your side thinks silence is violence and looting is not. Because you're the party of chasing speakers off college campuses and making everyone walk on eggshells and replacing let's not see color with let's see it always and everywhere, formerly the position of the Ku Klux Klan. Democrats need to listen to our new president-elect's old boss.
This idea of purity and you're never compromised and you're always politically woke and all that stuff, you should get over that quickly.
Quickly.
Seriously, I was applauding that closing that week. I mean, people that don't watch his show regularly, I think, have a different idea of what he's been talking about. These are things he's been saying for as long as I can remember. I watch a show every week, and this is where he's been, and he's
Yes, I've always agreed with his take on that, even as I lean left, and yes, I agree. Oh, oops, I forgot to take the banner down. Yeah. He's always been against all this political correctness and this wokeness and all this stuff. And I love that he found a clip of Obama saying that I am going to use to death until this stops. But yeah, I was spot on. We got a nice compliment, by the way, from John Amenta.
Well, thank you, John.
Yes.
Thank you, John.
Good friend of the show, John Amenta. So yeah.
And a great podcast.
Great podcast. Pint O Comics. If you get a chance, hop on over to pintocomics.com and you can find them on all the podcasting. What do they call them? Fetchers, catchers.
I have no idea.
Whatever they're called. They're anywhere. Just Pint O Comics.
Is this called like a vodcast now? Podcast?
What this is a live stream.
Live stream?
This is a live stream. So, yeah, I like the part where Bill Maher said something about like, don't confuse Twitter with the real world, and your news feed is cluttered up with stories, big and small, and that's what we have here, a cluttered news feed of all this crap. But before we get to that, we actually have another cool story I found. Quentin Tarantino novelist.
What?
What? A what?
A what? Nice Jaws reference. Stacy, yeah. A what?
A what?
Tiger shark.
The tiger shark.
What?
Oh, what?
Exactly.
If you stick your freaking head in there, I'll show you a bite radius. Quentin Tarantino sets 2-book deal with HarperCollins.
No shit.
Yes, he's going to adapt his last movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, first, coming up this summer, and that'll be a lot of fun to read. And then I don't know what he's going to do after that, but cinema speculation, I guess. A mix of essays, reviews, and personal writing as the director looks back on 1970s film, which is kind of like his filmography, which is kind of like a look back at 1970s film when you think about it.
Right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huge influence.
He wrote a comic series, Django. Django meets Zorro. Django meets Zorro. It was like 6 issues from Dynamite Comics, and it was really cool. It was really well done. Of course, it's Tarantino, and I thought the coolest part about it was in the back of the comic, it told you what songs to listen to for what pages you were reading. So because
that's really cool.
Because he scripts his movies to certain music. That's he basically writes to music, and so he did the comic book the same way. Yeah, this will be cool. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as a novel will be cool, but we know the story already. But
I liked it. It was good. I gotta watch that.
I loved it.
I haven't seen it since the theater, so I gotta get it and watch it again.
The Blu-ray.
The Blu-ray. I have to get the Blu-ray.
Yes. Wonder Woman 84.
Oh boy, yeah, this is gonna be a nail in the coffin for theaters, man.
Not good. This is not good. So it's a really confusing release schedule too. So I'm trying to. I'll try to do this justice, but it's very confusing. I was watching Clownfish do it, and Geeky Sparkles was like, "This sounds like a story a 2-year-old says." And then it's going to do this, and then this, and then it's going to do this, and then it's going to do that, and then it's going to do this. So apparently, it's going to be released internationally in theaters on December 16th.
Oh.
So for free on the internet on December 16th, right?
Well, yeah, right. No, everywhere in the world but the U.S. on December 16th.
Oh, but the U.S.
Right. On Christmas Day,
Oh, that's what I thought.
it's going into theaters and HBO Max on Christmas Day for 1 month. Then it comes off HBO Max, stays in theaters for a limited run, then comes out of the theaters and then goes back on HBO Max. Did I get that right?
None of it sounds right.
That sounds stupid.
Yeah.
It is stupid.
Somebody probably got a big bonus for actually thinking of that too.
And here's what's going to kill it. The 1 month on HBO Max is going to crush this. Who's going to go to a theater?
No one.
And watch this when they can watch it in their living room?
That's right.
Me.
No, I'm with you. I'm not going to watch this on HBO Max.
I'm not watching. I'll watch it after I watch it in the theater. I'll watch it on HBO Max.
I'm not going to watch this on HBO Max. No, I mean, no way.
I am going to the theater like crazy.
Yeah.
You have the option.
I don't think a lot of people are going to be leaving this year.
Here's another
to go to the theater, but that's just my opinion. But
well, here's another. No, it's going to die in the theaters. Here's another question though that makes me wonder. With the current climate and all these 45 states now like doubling down on their restrictions, do they know something we don't know? What? Why would they do this on Christmas Day?
I don't know.
Wrap it around the new year with what's going on in the mainstream news right now.
I don't know.
Powerful entertainment company. Right? Powerful entertainment company. If they know, like, theaters aren't open in the three biggest markets right now, New York, LA, Chicago, nothing's open.
Well, and that's why they're putting it on HBO, don't you think?
Do I? I don't know what to think, because this kind of goes hand in hand with this. Entertainment industry workers are exempt from California's new stay-at-home order.
Interesting.
So Gavin Newsom suddenly feels that the entertainment industry is they're essential workers now. And this is interesting. Newsom's office told Deadline on Thursday that the order did not apply to entertainment industry workers who are on the list of essential workers and thus an exception to the rule. The governor's original order in March includes the following passage, which still applies. In accordance with this order, blah, 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 designated essential interest. Blah, 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 blah. Basically, the entertainment industry was non-essential the first time and is essential the second time.
Well, they've had a long time to wear them down. I mean, don't you think that there's probably there's been a lot of pressure like over the months, from I'm sure there's entertainment and industry lobbyists and all these other people that are like pushing and just giving constant
Bingo.
Or
if I'm a small business owner and I just got my restaurant shut down for the third time and I'm probably not going to reopen, he's lost like 54% of California businesses forever.
I know.
And he lets the pretenders go to work.
It's the same thing in England too. The BBC is doing the same thing.
Right. So I just find that interesting. And it goes back to this. Why would they put this in theaters on Christmas?
They want to get the theaters back. I think this is a start to try to get that.
They haven't helped them at all. They haven't helped the theaters at all. So
they were trying to help the theaters. They wouldn't put it on HBO Max.
True. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't understand.
I don't even know what HBO Max has that's worth watching now. Game of Thrones is over with. I remember people telling me at work, once Game of Thrones is over, that's it. HBO Go is gone.
Well,
I don't know. Do you guys have it?
I have HBO. Yeah.
I mean, is there anything on there that's worth?
Yeah, I watched The Third Day with Jude Law. That was okay.
Larry Sanders Show is always a classic.
Yeah, that's reruns.
Curb Your Enthusiasm. That should come out.
Right.
Yeah, awesome.
It's interesting to me. It's just interesting to me. We did on Geek Time Radio, we covered the topic of movie theaters, whether they're going to survive or not. I think it was on the very first show. Were you with that, Pete? You were part of that one?
Oh, yeah.
I was.
Yeah, okay. It was the very first show. And Alan brought up a point where he said maybe the studios are going to buy the theaters. And when he said that, I kind of at the time said no, that's because they're laughing and like they've already been presented with that option and they laughed it off and said, no, we don't care if they get bailed out. We don't care. We're not buying them. We're not stepping in. This past week, the 430 movie podcast covered the same topic. And Darren Doctorman brought up the same thing Alan did with a little bit more of background. Darren kind of thinks what's happening right now with holding back the movies, it's all theory. Holding back the movies maybe and doing stuff like this is to drive down the real estate.
Oof.
So that these exhibitors have to get out and they'll sell their theater chains for dirt cheap to the studios.
Oh, that's a horrible thought. I hope that's not true.
Sounds like something the mafia would do.
Yeah, that's some dirty stuff right there.
Since when has Hollywood and the mob been a different thing?
No, I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. It's totally possible. I mean, that's kind of a sound theory, actually.
Aaron works in the industry, and it's a very sound theory. And he thinks what that could do, in hindsight, is alter the theater experience to make it better. When you have the entertainment studio owning the theater, the exhibition, right? They're going to want that experience to be better. It's our product in our building. No phones, no bullshit. They'll be able to reduce the cost of concessions considerably because right now you have these chains like AMC or Cinemark charging you go in for a soda, it's like $20. But that's where they make their money. They're not making money showing movies because they have to share so much of the gate and the fees and all that stuff.
Right.
I mean, I went to see Goldfinger last week. It was $5 to get in. So
the scary thing about that, though, I think, is that when a particular theater maybe isn't living up to the expectations, then all of a sudden they cut them dry. So then all of a sudden you have to drive 50 miles to go to see a movie. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of a scary proposition, I think,
Well, we're definitely in an entire world of uncertainty right now. So, it's going to be interesting. Jude just sent this over in the chat. This is kind of funny.
We actually have 4 chats.
So, when I was at Goldfinger, I was shocked because I walked in and I didn't realize, I don't know how this makes any sense, but the governor here stopped sale of concessions. And I was hungry. I went there to eat. Couldn't get any popcorn or soda at the AMC.
Oh, I got a wine when I went.
I know they serve alcohol.
Damn. I'm coming out.
Yes, please do. Let's
Good
write
up,
that on Monday night. They'll play Monday or Tuesday, and they'll play anything you want. And I'm thinking Wonder Woman 1984 is included in that, I would assume.
Nice. It was really annoying that they couldn't sell concessions. And I'm like, why is this building open? They charged me $5 to see Goldfinger. They probably made 25 cents, 50 cents off that ticket. They can't sell any concessions, and they're paying people to stand around in the theater.
Yeah.
You know how many people went to see Goldfinger? 3. Me, Paul, and one other. So $15 at the gate.
Yeah.
How much did they pocket? $1.50.
That's terrible. I know. Yeah. I know. Like, they're struggling. There's no one's doing anything to help them.
And it makes absolutely no sense that they can't sell popcorn.
My theater, you can buy it to go. Like, people can come. They've been selling it to people. People go buy big giant bag of it for their family movie night, and even if they don't go to the movie.
Oh, that's cool. That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
No, it was like literally walled off. They put all the 10-foot stand-ups and stuff and walled it off and put police tape around it.
Really? That's
damn.
Yeah. And nowhere on the app when I bought the thing did it say that. It said you can take your mask off to eat popcorn. Okay. I've been going to the movies. I was shocked. Absolutely shocked.
And Keith loves the buttered popcorn at the movie theater. Don't deny it. Buttered popcorn.
They get from a stroke. Yeah.
It's like the 6 pumps, dude.
Can you make it through the whole movie?
Sometimes when I pick up the bag at the end of a movie, there's an oil slick on the ground.
I think the machine's automated when you put it underneath.
It's oil. It's not butter. Oh, it's yellow oil.
It's oil. Yeah. I'm nice and lubed.
It's like
Put it down, like human lube.
So Edson sent this one in. In a concession to Warner Media, Amazon will remove HBO from Amazon channels next year. So, in a victory for AT&T's Warner Media, HBO will no longer be available as an Amazon channel after their current placement deal expires next year, according to people familiar with the matter. So, my
case for physical media.
Yeah. So now you have to get HBO Max if you want to watch anything related to HBO or Warner Brothers. So you see where this is all going. It's not a surprise to me, honestly. I mean, this is like what happened to Netflix with Disney. Disney took all their stuff away from Netflix and they're putting it on their own channel. The problem is HBO Max is $15 a month. Disney Plus is $8 a month. Netflix is $15. Like, you're up to a cable bill again at that point. So,
I think the problem is once these places spread themselves too thin, they're not making money.
This is not a good business plan. And if they think that they're going to make their $1 billion off a movie like Wonder Woman on HBO Max, they're crazy.
People are willing to pay to watch something than pay for the service.
Right.
At least I would.
Oh, that's right. I forgot something. As part of this, it's also going to go to video on demand at some point too, like for like all the movie theater apps and stuff. So,
Video on demand makes more sense.
so I'm telling you, like Geeky Sparkles from Clownfish did the best job with this. And then it goes here, and then it does that, and then it goes here, and then it does that. And I think when it all comes out in the wash, this movie is probably going to end up making between 400 and 500 million. Probably half of what they actually expect.
But it wasn't a big budget film, right?
$200 million.
Was it? No.
They spent a lot of money on this.
I thought they were going to do a smaller budget.
Speaking of smaller budgets, Edson Gomes, everyone.
Yeah. So what's up, Edson?
We're just discussing this.
You got a little bit of feedback there, Keith, coming through again.
I could hear it through me and Jude, but I didn't hear it through Keith. It was like big time, like echoing.
Yeah, same thing here.
There, I did my trick. Is it gone?
Was it when I just came on?
Testing. 1, 2, 3. No, it was before you came on.
It's whenever things get added, it causes an echo because StreamYard every penny. Yeah, I mean, maybe we should get a little show pool going. How much money do we think this is going to make?
Maybe just bank.
So it's going to be on international cinema, U.S. cinema, HBO Max, video on demand. So we got 4 distribution outlets for this thing.
The HBO Max thing boggles my mind that it would come out so fast. Like that
Same day. Same day.
Any sense to me at all?
Does the HBO have to pay for some type of rights to get it, or how do
No,
they acquire?
It's all Warner Brothers.
It's all Warner.
Yeah,
but you don't make money in it.
Hence this, Jude.
Right.
Warner Media.
Right.
See, what they're trying to do is cut out the middle person all the time. They take it away from Amazon. They don't have to pay anything to Amazon.
Right.
But
The theaters, they don't have to pay anything to the theater chains.
Amazon's not going to be crying broke anyway, so don't worry.
Yeah, they're all right. I'm not worried about that.
They think they're maximizing profits by holding on to the distribution and And this goes back to what I was saying about Darren Doctorman might have a point where if they're doing this to theaters to drive the real estate down to then swoop in and buy them cheap, and like then you have the Warner Brothers cinemas, the Paramount cinemas, the Sony cinemas, and then they cut out the theater, the theater distribution. They can still make they can put it in theaters, but now they keep all the money. It's their building. It makes sense.
But are they only playing their studio's movies?
Yes.
And no independents, nothing,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, what's going to happen with the independent movies?
Well, a lot of the independent movies are distributed through one of the bigger.
Yeah. Okay, so you can't have your favorite theater anymore. You got to have like your 5 favorite theaters.
Okay.
That's
awful. Yeah, you want to go see a Warner Brothers movie, you go here. You want to see a Fox movie, you go here. You want to see a Disney movie, you go here.
I mean, yeah, and depending on if the locate, they're all located, you might have to travel pretty far to watch a certain movie.
Well, let me ask you guys this, which would kind of suck if you have to go 20, 30 miles to see a Paramount movie or what have you,
Yeah.
or Universal. Would you be okay with that to save the movie theaters?
I would. But it also depends on, like, for instance, I hate to say this, but I've always been big on local. I would save a mom and pop theater before I'd save a big.
Oh, I'm with you. I think,
absolutely.
I think what you will see is the small, independent-owned theaters will stay. They'll survive this somehow.
I
and
hope so.
I think they'll make their money showing classics instead of first runs.
They're still struggling big time. I've said it before. My local one in Mystic, they have a GoFundMe because they're struggling so hard right now.
Yeah. I mean, we pulled up. It was a 6 o'clock movie, Goldfinger, last Wednesday. AMC with 20 screens pulled up. There were 10, 11 cars in the lot.
I mean, I get it. Like, I'm happy when I'm in there and there are only a few people, but it makes me sad at the same time because, you want to go in there, but you don't want to be in there with a lot of people.
Because they don't show anything past 7 o'clock. When we got out of the movie, the employees had left already. There was nobody there except the projectionists.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was nobody standing around in the lobby, nobody anywhere. It was a ghost town. I could have taken like one of those big stand-ups and walked out.
How many screens is the one in Mystic, Stacey?
4.
Four.
Wait, 1, 2. Yeah, 4.
Yeah. It's.
I always liked going to the mom places. I always thought they were a little bit more quaint. They weren't as kind of like you go in and I don't know. The owners are usually at the concession. It's funny.
I grew up on the small mom.
Yeah.
I used to go to the Meriden Twin. I remember
me too.
When Return of the Jedi came out on a Saturday, my mother would drop me there. I brought a brown bag lunch. And I sat there and watched all 3 showings of Return of the Jedi. I remember the little old man who owned the place came and he was sweeping the aisles and he's like, "Oh, you're going to stay for another one?" I'm like, "Yeah." And that's the way it was. You paid 1 ticket and stayed there.
Yeah.
Or I remember there was one Saturday they had the Cannonball Run and Superman 2. And I would go back and forth. I'd Superman 2, and then I'd walk over and watch Cannonball Run and then go back in and watch Superman. And Mom would show up and pick me up at 9:30 at night.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I've always wanted to support local.
Just that idea now, that like, would any parent drop a 12-year-old off at a movie theater all day now?
Yeah, the one in New Haven was really good. I forgot what the
York Square,
the York Square Cinema.
Yeah,
they used to do like some crazy stuff too. They used to do Jaws, and people used to come in costume and throw stuff at the screen. And Rocky Horror was a big one. Every year they did Rocky Horror. The place was packed, and they would start throwing rice at the screen and screaming at certain. They would say certain things, and people would scream in the audience. And
the Holy Grail was a good one too.
Which one?
Oh, the Holy Grail, yeah.
The Holy Grail. And they had a lot of director meet and greets. I saw Michael Moore. I met Michael Moore. I went to see Sicko. And Michael Moore was there, stuff like that. Yeah, that was a good theater. I heard or something, right? Didn't the roof cave in from water? Like that's why it closed.
God. Really?
Yeah.
I heard Seeing the Room is probably really good with a crowd of people. That's what they say. They say that people people go and they make it like a spectacle when you watch it. It's like a whole
good
movie. Yeah.
I was like, you can't find it anywhere. Like I was trying after watching the Disaster Artist, I couldn't find it.
I know.
Disaster Artist is so good.
It was really good.
That's bullshit. Oh, hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
That's bullshit. I didn't hit her. Oh, hi, Mark.
I would love to see the real one. I haven't.
James Franco crushed it in that movie.
So good. So good.
It's fun. So while we're on Wonder Woman, there's a new Wonder Woman coming out. These damn pop-ups. Go away.
I got to address the cat again. Hold on.
Go away. Just bring the cat on the show.
Max ad. They heard us talking.
They hear us talking about it.
I know.
Seriously, how can I collapse this? There's no little X.
Wow. What the?
Can you scroll up or scroll down? Just move.
Yeah, I can do that, and then I do that, and it comes back.
Jeez, what the?
Screw you, CNN. That'll learn you. Whoever sent this link, don't ever go to CNN ever again. So on HBO Max, they're going to put out a new Wonder Woman show, but it's not Diana.
Diana. Diana is Wonder Woman.
It's Yara Flor. And look, that term that they can't stand that Bill a Latinx, because God forbid you say it's a woman. It has to be
They're referred to her as a Latina somewhere in the article, but still.
right here, fictional Latina character born of So okay, but why?
Yeah.
I mean, I okay. Maybe it'll be like Miles Morales and it'll work. Maybe it just won't.
I don't know. The Spider-Verse is a whole different thing, I think. Like, there's precedent for that. Like, you know, the different Spider-Man.
So you don't want to see a Wonderverse?
There's no other Wonder Woman. Diana is Wonder Woman.
Well, there's Wonder Girl.
Well, that's what they said. They say she'll be Wonder Girl. Like, if you read, did you read that article?
Yep.
So when is like Diana hands her the crown of Wonder Woman?
But there's already a character. It's Donna Troy.
Oh, that is Wonder Woman?
Yeah, that's Wonder Girl. Yeah, there's already a Wonder Girl, and it's Donna Troy.
Well, that's because this character is coming from that future state.
They're trying to make Future State relevant. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Future State's not temporary, Edson.
What? I thought it was.
Future State's a 2-month run in comics.
Yeah.
Right.
It's to get these characters into the universe to take over.
Yeah, exactly. They don't really care about the comics, but
no, they don't care.
You think that's going to happen? I thought it was supposed to be temporary, just for s and giggles.
No, it's temporary. To introduce these characters so that they will ultimately take over.
Well, now we know DC really is going to go out of business.
Then they can say, "Oh, look, it's part of it's part of the comics." So
you can't change something that shouldn't be changed. People
like, this character sounds interesting, but why does she have to be Wonder Woman? Like, I don't understand.
Because it goes back to what I was saying last week, that they're creatively bankrupt. God forbid they come up with a new original character.
Yeah.
Right.
So they just have to retcon an existing character.
I don't...
Look, let's take Wonder Woman and make her from Brazil. How is that even remotely creative? Anybody can do something stupid. I used to do stupid shit like that when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I'm going to make a different Spider-Man, and his name is, Beeper Farper. And, like, come on. I mean, just, when you're a little kid, you think like this. Because you can't come up with anything original. You just steal something that already exists.
People take their comic book heroes, especially the big heroes, very seriously. If you change them, the fans get really pissed off.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I mean, really pissed off. I mean, Superman, there's untouchables. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, certain characters you just do not touch.
And I'm glad you brought that up, Jude, because here's where Marvel really screwed up. Right? Marvel just made 23 movies as part of this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe, and it was like groundbreaking and unprecedented. They all got earned between, even in the early days, 300-400 million to up to over billions, right? By the end. You're trying, if you're Marvel Comics, you'd think, let's capitalize on this, right? And I've already gone off on rants about the actors at Comic-Cons not promoting the artists and the writers of the books, but where they really screwed up is during the time frame when the MCU was at its absolute peak, right? Just like people were frenzied to go to these movies. You'd walk into a comic book store, I want Iron Man. Oh, it's over there. And you pick up Iron Man, and it's not Tony Stark. It's Riri Williams. Oh, okay. Okay, I won't read Iron Man. I want to read Thor. Oh, yeah, Thor's over there. It's not Thor Odinson. It's Jane Foster.
Yep.
Oh, okay. All right. How about Spider-Man? Oh, yeah, Spider-Man's over there. Oh, that's not Peter Parker. That's Miles Morales. Oh, okay. Captain America. Oh, Captain America's over there. That's not Steve Rogers. That's Sam Wilson.
Yeah, how did the Falcon become Captain America?
Right. So at the time when these movies were making serious bank and the comics division could have brought in a whole new audience, which is what they say on Twitter they're trying to do. We want a whole new audience. We don't care when our existing fans think of all these comics. Okay, we don't care what you think, you old basement-dwelling man babies. We're appealing to a whole new audience, and the whole new audience walks in looking to find the characters they see on the movies, and they're not there. They're gone. They're not there. So that's where you screwed up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And this is what they're doing now. DC's like, oh, hold my beer.
Mm.
So we'll see. We'll see. Speaking of hold my beer, I had to.
Oh, jeez.
Let's give Keanu an A for imagination.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see this?
What in the,
Yeah, I
what
read
in
that,
the fresh hell is this?
They held a rap party, but they pretended it was part of a scene being shot for the movie.
Yep.
Nothing was shot.
That's hilarious.
They had cameramen walking around pretending to shoot it, but they had a giant rap party. Now, I haven't really
hilarious.
I haven't really delved deep into this beyond, seeing what they did. The mood was exuberant. Everyone got tested before they went in. Everyone came with a mask, but of course they came off. I haven't heard of anybody being reported sick afterward. This happened like 2 weeks ago. So let's give the what do they call the Wachowskis some credit for dreaming that one up.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty original in a way around restrictions. You gotta laugh, right? I mean,
Nothing bad seemed to come from it, so that's good at least.
Yeah, and
when they were all tested, beforehand.
They were all tested, and yeah, right. So to me, that's no different than the NFL.
Right. I agree.
Or the NBA or hockey or whatever. They're all in a bubble.
They were being responsible, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
They took the restrictions seriously.
It's kind of, my niece pitched this for Christmas. She said, why don't we all get tested 2 days before Christmas? And then, then we all know we're safe when we all get together on Christmas, because my mother's terrified and her mother is a cancer survivor. And I'm like, that's a good idea. Why not?
That's a good idea, yeah.
Foolproof, but, it's better than not.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. But good on them. And you know what? I like Keanu, and I don't think Keanu would be reckless like that if he seems like a really sensible person. And I think if he felt that there was anything that was going to go wrong, he would have said nope. So he was there with his girlfriend. So.
And it happened in Germany, so. Which
makes me sad. As a completely heterosexual male, I would want to date Keanu Reeves myself. And he's taken.
He's awesome.
He's a cool dude, man. Who doesn't love him? So, all right. No matter how many times we try to avoid it, we can't. We cannot.
I read about this.
Yeah, I read. Yeah.
Star Wars keeps coming back. Disney Star Wars keeps coming back to haunt us.
I feel like he's got a target on her at this point. He's just trying to call her out completely.
That's exactly what he did. And
I think he talked about this. He touched base with it. Now he's really trying to draw it out of her to say, you're right.
Right.
I totally planned this. I totally was trying to do this.
It clearly.
And what's really funny is that.
I want to say what I know. I can't say what I know. But when Joe comes on in a couple weeks, there might be some insight into this. I can't say what he's alluded to me already. But
well,
that's right. We have a scoop. Subscribe.
Well, she's trying to get him and the guy. Who's the guy in the background there?
Oscar Isaac.
I got my Poe Dameron. Supposedly they were supposed to have some type of relationship in the movies that I guess they decided to cut out.
Well, he's upset, and we covered this last time, a long time ago. Like I think on our first stream, we covered that he went off in a GQ article about how the character of Finn, what he signed up to play, and what the character became were two different things, and we all wanted to see Finn like maybe be a Jedi, a stormtrooper who defects, who's force sensitive and becomes a Jedi and fights the oppression he used to be part of. To me, is a far more interesting story than I'm the bestest ever. So he got her on the phone apparently, and just vented to her, and told her that he felt that they were marginalized.
Yeah.
And
but she was building this whole type of culture into these movies.
Well, Kathleen, yeah,
and it was blatant. It was totally blatant.
Yes,
and shallow. The characters didn't have any depth to them because she tried to push it in your face. Look, you know, like.
Well, she's the one running around with the Force is female and the rainbow-colored Star Wars shirts and the whole bit, and she's the one who pushed the whole Rey as a Mary Sue thing and right down the line. So
they made the characters unlikable, you know.
Well, of course, and boring.
Right.
Boring. It's nothing against Daisy Ridley or even the character of Rey. It's what they did with these characters. You're right. I mean, they're just awful.
Right.
They're boring. They're
push the agenda more than actually have some depth to a character.
When, you know, the first face you ever saw in the first trailer for The Force Awakens was his face. Right? And to me, the only thing I liked about the any of those movies was the concept early on that he was a stormtrooper with a moral compass. Forget that even if he wasn't force sensitive, just the fact that he was a defecting stormtrooper, and then you put in the Last Jedi, the very next movie, and he's trying to flee. He's a coward.
Yeah, that was totally contradictory. They started out so good, and
then by the third movie, he's nothing but the comic relief. He's just a buffoon, tripping over his own feet.
And I actually liked him better than Daisy in The Force Awakens.
Yes,
I totally liked him better, and then his character just totally fizzled out. Like, that's it.
Because somewhere along the line, they figured out, oh, let's make Poe into Han Solo Jr.
Right.
And Rey is the bestest ever. And there was just no room for him anymore. He had to be the lighthearted sidekick.
Right, and Rey was OP, basically.
No, you think? So he got her on the phone, and he kind of vented, and apparently she, here's his quotes again. You knew what to do with these other people when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, fuck all. He was really pissed, and I'm with him. I'm completely with him. It's appalling what they did to his character. So apparently she said, yeah, okay, I'll fix that somehow. Because her contract.
How are you going to fix it? The movies are done.
They can fix it with cartoon shows, spin-off series.
She doesn't have her grimy hands on The Mandalorian, though the last episode, I hope to God they're not going in a certain direction to tie it into these fucking movies.
She's in charge. So until they get rid of her, her specter looms over the whole damn thing.
Did you guys see the last episode of Mandalorian?
No, I haven't seen it yet. The one Carl Weathers directed?
Right. At the end of it, you're going to be like, oh, shit. Because at the end, there's definitely some strings out there that could be tied to her fucking bullshit.
Oh, all right.
But we don't know. It's speculated.
I'm looking forward to it, and I really want to find a good, hour to not be distracted, because Carl Weathers and Gina Carano, and directed by Carl Weathers, I just really want it. Carl Weathers is one of my favorite actors ever.
It's a decent episode. It's got a lot of action in it.
When I put, last year when I first turned it on and I saw him in the first episode, I was like, oh, okay, I'm in, because Carl Weathers is in this. So, I love that guy. So this is from WDW Pro off the Pirates and Princesses website, which is from Clownfish TV. Changes afoot over at Lucasfilm, and we all know that Kathleen Kennedy's contract is due up, I guess, right? Or she's going to excuse herself. Apparently, not so fast. According to sources familiar with the ongoings of Lucasfilm, we now believe that Mrs. Kennedy may be positioning herself to stay at Lucasfilm. We're not sure how this affects Jon Favreau and how he perceives his future with Star Wars. The change, we believe, is that Mrs. Kennedy now has a successful series in The Mandalorian, which is not hers.
No,
she has not.
In name only, right. That's Favreau in Dave Filoni all the way. And the future of entertainment appears to be long format series on streaming platforms. Big budget feature films may no longer be the king of the cinematic revenue system, and rather series like The Mandalorian and Stranger Things could be a paradigm shift. So, if Kennedy stays at Lucasfilm, she surely doesn't have the support behind her, you might say, and to some degree you'd be right. Kennedy botched the sequel trilogy to the point there's almost no marketing whatsoever for those characters any longer. The original trilogy and prequel trilogy both have beloved characters decades later. But Kennedy has a secret weapon to staying on as president of Lucasfilm. Imagine for a moment there was a company which was trying to woo a communist government that was enslaving millions and millions of people, with religious minorities being in concentration camps. Now imagine that said company had billions in assets that could be taken by said communist government at any point. Now let's further the depravity by saying that the company was so controlled by the communist government that the company would film fantasy propaganda, Mulan, for the communist government, Mulan, and would film said fantasy directly next to those concentration camps, Mulan. Let's add to the ante by saying that the company even defends it publicly to the rest of the world, Mulan. Now, a company like that is probably not a company that cares too greatly about human rights, correct, Disney? So let's say that same company is simultaneously trying to keep their stock up during a pandemic, Disney, and that the main way to do that is through inflated numbers of subscribers to their new streaming service, Disney. Pretty much, if those numbers underperform, the company's stock will crater and things will get really, really ugly, Disney. Now, with all that understood, let me ask you a question. Do you think that this company, beholden to a communist government filming next to concentration camps and bragging about it, dependent on their streaming service succeeding at all costs, do you think it decided to change one of their beloved attractions at great cost out of the goodness of their heart, or because they'll do anything to prevent a boycott backlash that would hurt their subscriber numbers? If you're lost, let me explain. During the pandemic, when Disney has less money or financial stability than in many decades, the company suddenly, and admittedly fast-tracked, announced changes to one of their most beloved attractions in their parks. The IP switch to Splash Mountain occurred at the height of Black Lives Matter protests. Now, you might think that's totally coincidental. If that's what you think, that's okay. But others, including myself, believe that the announcement and subsequent changes are a direct result of Disney looking to make sure they're not the target of any boycott or negativity toward the company that might result in lower Disney Plus. I don't think a company that films next to concentration camps cares one iota about Brer Rabbit being a $400 million human rights issue. If you've hung in there with this logic until now, you might already know how Kathleen Kennedy can keep her job, even if she's done very poorly. What happens if Kathleen Kennedy doesn't get a contract renewal and she also makes it known she's unhappy about that? Well, there might be backlash from certain ideological camps, right? I think if Disney's willing to pay hundreds of millions of dollars to get rid of some animatronic animals while they fire tens of thousands of employees, you think they're going to war with Kathleen Kennedy and risk potential backlash that could cost them subscribers? See, the thing Kathleen Kennedy has over them, it's Leslie Headland. Leslie Headland was Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. They know things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're right. They'll probably stay in because you let me go, I'll start talking.
Correct. And that's what he was insinuating with all of that long story.
They're just trying to avoid any kind of controversy.
Because Kathleen and Leslie know where the bodies are buried. And if they cost her job. So basically she's all powerful and she's not going anywhere.
Bye-bye, Star Wars. It was a good run.
Well, there's fan-made films out there that people can do.
This is what we call failing upward, gang. Right?
So many people are failing upward. It's just it's sad. I'd love to see her go, and I'd love to see what she comes up with.
Well, I thought her and J.J. Abrams or Jar Jar Abrams were supposed to venture off and do something else, weren't they?
Well, everything's rumor and speculation. Everything. All this stuff we're reporting on. And I still want to do what John Amenta suggested we do and go back like to 2020 or 2010 and find articles from all these places and see if any of that stuff ever happened. But that's kind of right. The fun of it's speculation and rumor. Doomcock and other people have been reporting from their sources. But this one's brand new. And I think, when was your contract up? January, Pete?
I think so.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
I don't think she's going anywhere. And Leslie Headland, if you read a lot of these sites now, Leslie Headland's back in the picture. with her new shows. So if Leslie Headland's back in the picture and rumored that Kathleen's not going anywhere, then the two of them went to the Bobs and said, "You want these photos getting out?"
Yeah.
Okay, but then with all this strategy, if they continue to make crappy series and not get the numbers, they're just going to keep fudging the numbers forever. I mean,
I don't know.
I don't know how this is sustainable.
I don't know. But it'll be fun to watch because it gives us content.
Yeah.
And that's all we care about. Just keep giving us content. Make mistakes, do stupid things. It makes us happy. Did anyone watch this?
No, but I was going to say something
I did
terrible.
not.
Oh boy.
Say it, dude.
I was going to say Marvel comic author Dan Slott has terrible work ethics and terrible eating habits.
Oh,
well,
nice. Don't body shame.
I'm sorry.
Jude is body shaming. I denounce you, Jude.
He reminds me of that guy in the episode of South Park where he's kind of like,
oh, the World of Warcraft episode.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, never mind. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm totally being a jerk, but
well, I was put on. I saw on Twitter Ethan Van Sciver tweet. Can't believe that Disney did a hit piece on one of their own guys. Which immediately caught my eye. I'm like, what do you mean Disney did a hit piece on one of their own guys? So I went and watched the episode he was referring to of this. This is a 8-part documentary series. 6 of the 8 aren't worth watching. This one's worth watching. And there's one episode with Paul Scheer, the comedian from what was that fantasy football show, The League, where he takes. Yeah. Remember, Ed, you might remember a comic book called. What are they called? Brute Force or something? Back in they were like an animal superhero team.
Oh yeah.
From Marvel. It was like a 4-issue miniseries.
Never got it though.
It's kind of funny. It's like he goes to Marvel and he finds an obscure set of characters from back then. And he wants to like make them into a mainstream cartoon or something for Disney. It's pretty funny. So, but those are the only 2. The rest of them are all very woke-ish.
How can this guy have a terrible work ethic? He's like one of the nicest guys at Marvel.
Well, but he's kind of not.
I mean, I know a lot of the Spider-Verse has gone probably to his head because he's built this whole world up, right? He is the creator of the Spider-Verse, pretty much, right?
Yes.
So you would think that he's up on a higher pedestal than most people who do Spider-Verse.
He's been on Twitter destroying his fan base, and for what, 4 years now?
When we met him at Terrificon, he was one of the nicest guys.
Yes, I think he's very friendly, but I think he's also, I don't even know how to put it.
It's gone to his head.
Damaged. Anyway, they did this documentary thing where they show him. He has to write a 6-issue series called Iron Man 2020. And it's a resurgence of an 80s character because back in the 80s, 2020 was so far away in the future, right?
Don't say that.
So it was stunning to watch that they did a half-an-hour documentary show on this guy's laziness. This episode shows, and I can't believe he signed off on this. All he does is want. Did you watch it, Edson?
No, I have not the whole thing, but it's like I was in the middle of it, and I'm like, how did they have to approve it? Does he have to approve it? I don't.
I can't believe he agreed to even do it, knowing that this is how he works. He hides behind the Marvel method, which was Stan Lee's way of cranking out comics back in the 60s, where Stan would make a loose plot on yellow line paper,
right,
and hand it to Steve Ditko or Jack Kirby and say, "Go draw this." And let them draw the issue based on his outline and come up with some of the story and dialogue as well. And then give it back to Stan and he'd write the dialogue. Well, that's how Dan wants to work. But Dan says he does that. He's the only one at Marvel who still does that. And he does it because he's lazy. All they show him, the episode starts, it says 12 weeks to launch. 12 weeks. And he goes home and he writes like page 1. Arlo Stark, it's about Tony's brother. Arlo Stark, or Arno Stark, whatever his name is, sits thinking. And then he goes, "Oh, a tweet. and then he gets up and goes out and wanders around Manhattan and goes and visits comic book stores, and then it keeps cutting to like 6 weeks to go, and he's only on page 2 or page 4.
Oh my!
Then they go to the artist, and the artist is drawing away at whatever plot points he's come up with, but he can't come up with any dialogue. He can't move the plot along, and it gets to the letterer, who has to letter the book. 2 days before the launch, he still doesn't have a script. And Tom Brevoort, the editor-in-chief, has to go and hire Christoph Gage to come in and finish it. And this is how it works. And the episode ends with Dan. They make the deadline. They get the book out. And Dan goes to Brevoort's office, and he goes, "Nice job. Great issue 1, Dan. Now I have to put up with you for 5 more."
Wow.
And it just shows everyone's frustration of dealing with this guy and how he just screws with everybody's delivery schedule because he can't hold the deadline down, and how they have to bring in a ghostwriter to help him finish it.
Wow.
Yeah. And he agreed.
And he's working why?
Yeah, that's what nobody can figure out.
Huh.
But the funny part is that all the people that he coveted on Twitter that this is great. Here's some scenes from it. So I know you got a lot of ideas and very little actually put together.
Jeez.
And you need more time to get it done. I would you because it's not good enough. You need more time. And he's just an excuse factory. We use the term work loosely when it comes to Dan.
But they're are they joking?
No.
No, they're not.
Brevoort is clearly frustrated, but he's powerless to do anything about it. The reason Stan started doing the Marvel method, quite frankly, is he didn't have time to write all the full scripts. Stan was writing how many books a month back then? 15, 20 books a month. Dan writes one.
Something like that.
Dan is behind where I need him on various assignments. I'll need another writer to do the dialoguing in the book. Chris Gage is half my brain. Ha ha ha. I'm Dan's deadline helper. Here's the letterer. This is the guy. This guy, he screws so bad. Because Dan works in the Marvel method, I'm usually waiting longer than I am from everyone else. By the time I get the script from Dan, it's usually about 2 days before the book has to go to press. I'm always sending it.
God, really?
It's horrible.
And pleading, someone please send me some script. Yeah. So Pete Woods was the artist on the book, and he's like, I see people dragging Dan like they actually had a crew following us for months and proves he's a failure or something. It's TV, folks, blah, blah, blah. We get that it's TV, but it exposed his laziness enough.
To quote the movie Airplane, what an asshole.
Well, it's just, if he got off Twitter, he spends all day.
That's
Twitter, he's on there all day. All day. And he's attacking people and, espousing his crap. And ironically, somebody hit him up, this weekend. I've scripted books down to the wire, but I think anyone who understands how comic books are made knows plotting a book down to the wire is not only silly, but kind of impossible, as was most of the time frame of the episode. But that and my liberties were taken for fun TV. Yeah, no. Fun TV or not, it made you look really bad. Really bad.
So he has a lot in common with George R.R. Martin.
Yeah.
Well,
the funny part is he got dragged all over Twitter, and it was by the people who he covets as his Twitter mob, right? He's been blocking people all over the place and getting his little Twitter fan base, and they all turned on him, and they're calling him, horrible names as usual. So yeah.
How did he write Spider-Man for 10 years?
10 years. Some of it was mediocre.
Badly, apparently.
Yeah, so not all of it was bad. I mean,
I actually thought Superior Spider-Man was the best work he's ever done.
Yeah, well, he's basically writing about himself, right?
That's what they say.
Oh.
That's what they say.
But did he write them, or was it a ghostwriter?
Right.
Well, when they don't ghost Christos Gage, when helps him, they credit Christos Gage. It'll say written by Dan Slott and Christos Gage.
Gotcha.
Christos Gage is a good Spider-Man writer. He knows Spider-Man, so I'm not surprised that he gets the dialogue duty. Superior Spider-Man was different, though. What he did was he killed Peter Parker, and they ended Amazing Spider-Man with issue 700, and Dr. Octopus put his essence basically into Peter's body and took over. Yep. I thought it was the dumbest thing ever, but I bought it because I'm like, well, maybe it'll be worth some money, and I read it and loved it.
It was just
it was fun. It was so much fun with this arrogant asshole trying to figure out how to be a hero, despite all his narcissism and his shortcomings. It was just phenomenal. It was really, really good. But I think the issue that really shocked me the most is like issue 5 or 6. I forgot who he was fighting, but he gets frustrated. He just picks up a gun and shoots the guy in the face. And everybody's like, dude, Spider-Man, what the hell?
I always love that when it's like the Spider-Man's reputation always backfired on him on his plans. It's like, I have to do this.
Right. So this was another one that caught my eye. Ethan tweeted.
Oh man.
I was just scrolling through and I see this and I'm like, what the hell is that? To say that Marvel has standards would be irresponsible.
Wow.
That is comic.
So
that's classic.
If you don't think a Marvel bloodbath is coming, you might be one of the first 2 cousins that spawned this creature below. So I had to go find out about this. I'm going to buy this when I go to my store tomorrow. I'm buying.
I think I'll get it
just to have. When I was 16, I should have pulled some of my art. When I was 15 and 16, I should have pulled some of the stuff. I sent it to Marvel, and I have a rejection letter.
Really?
Yes. That said, you're not up to our standard. Keep working, blah, blah, blah. And it really demoralized me because I was a kid. But my teenage artwork smokes this.
Yep, it sure does.
What's up with her nose?
I know something. It just looks she's melting or something like the putty.
Well, yeah.
So apparently, the main hero of the book is this character Echo.
Yep.
Who gets attacked by a bunch of men and her phone breaks and Captain Marvel shows up and says, "Pretty sure you can keep the phone and lose the men, just so you know."
So this was supposed to be. I think it's called Marvel Voices. It's supposed
Marvel.
to be.
It's called Marvel's Indigenous Voices.
It's supposed to celebrate Native American.
Which I think that's what Captain Marvel's supposed to be.
Oh, well, Echo is definitely
Native American.
I don't know any Native Americans with blonde hair.
That doesn't look like it.
Look at the facial features, the nose, the structure of the face, but
I don't.
So
they make it into some kind of anti-man again. It's like, what does that have to do with celebrating Native Americans?
I don't know. Here's what bothers me about this panel. Forget the shabby artwork that looks really, really amateur. They do the picture-in-picture, the close-up of the hand with the phone, and it's pointing in the opposite direction of the hand with the phone. Why would you not put it the same way on the lower?
Upside down. Like,
good point.
Right? That's bad storytelling. That's a bad layout.
It's confusing.
It's very confusing. It doesn't make any sense. That's bad.
Right.
And I've said before, sometimes your storytelling and the layouts are more important than the art itself. The storytelling ability, right there, that is confusing as fuck. Like, all you have to do is rotate. It's clearly just it's photoshopped. It's the same hand.
Oh my god! Yeah.
What was that?
What was that?
What the heck?
Somebody watching Red Letter Media over there?
To find what happened to your.
Oh my God! What's wrong with your face? What's wrong?
That's true. Perfect.
Well played, sir.
I had to do it.
Well played. Bravo, Jude. Let's hear it for Jude.
One of my favorite lines.
So this is Echo. Echo is so hot. She's been getting hit on by all these superheroes, right? This is what led to the broken phone. Apparently, she's reading these texts from. So Daredevil says, "I know you don't want to hear from me, but oh baby."
Oh my god!
If you say it in that voice,
what?
Moon Knight says, Hey, sexy. With the ASCII kiss thing. And
Oh my god.
Hawkeye says, we should talk. I'm worried. All right, okay. Wolverine says, listen, kid, I'm not one to give advice, but... And I don't know who this is.
I'm sorry.
This is either Gold Balls or Wilson
Gold
Pitt.
balls? What?
There's a Gold Balls.
There's a character named Gold Balls, and he
There
throws
is.
balls at people. Is that Wilson Fisk? Is that
right?
Maya, you have to face me someday. It must be the Kingpin.
Well, it looks like the Blob.
Oh, maybe it's Blob.
It's probably the Kingpin. Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's Blob. I didn't think of Blob.
It could be Blob.
You're right.
Blob in the moon.
Anyway, and then she thinks her internal monologue says, sometimes I feel so weighed down by my past that I fear it's suffocating any chance I have for a future. And then Captain Marvel shows up and says, pretty sure you can keep the phone and lose the men, just so you know. Captain Marvel, what are you doing here?
So bad.
Yeah, another character completely ruined. Echo is actually a great character. Brian Michael Bendis came up with her in his Avengers run, and of course, this is it doesn't even look like her. But
no,
I mean, I hate to say
this,
this,
doesn't act like her.
How much of the audience is not going to continue reading that?
Well, the first thing I thought of when I saw that was this. Remember this?
Yep.
From this
exactly.
Rooster Teeth's variant cover for Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah, that's
What's
an actual
going on?
Wait,
an actual
what?
cover.
Yeah, this is the cover issued this summer for the Wonder Woman 84 comic book adaptation. It was done by Rooster Teeth's Robin Eisenberg. And she wanted Wonder Woman to appeal to soccer moms of color.
I don't know.
No idea.
They were mom jeans, and they shrunk down her boobies,
I
and
know, like that. They should at least be proportionate.
just the anatomy. It's just this is again so amateur.
It's confusing. Like I don't understand. what's
It's
happening
called
there.
I'm trying to make a statement, look at it, and keep looking at it. I'm
Look
trying
at
to make a statement, keep looking at it. It's in your face, keep looking at it.
Yeah, it was bad. So
It's really low quality.
we get this. It's pretty safe to say that the comic industry is failing. So I found these because
Don't bring up an image of Rob Liefeld. Our whole stream will go down.
Rob looks like Picasso. Liefield's his Picasso next to this. So Clownfish did a story on the Captain Marvel thing, and they talked about how Jim Lee and Todd McFarlane, a bunch of these guys, have hundreds of rejection letters from Marvel and DC. Jim Lee is like the de facto modern day artist that everyone worships, right, and wants to be. And he couldn't get here tweeted 4 rejection letters. Let's see, here they are. Dear Mr. Lee, thank you for your recent submission. Although DC Comics maintains an open door policy and reviews all serious proposals or samples, regardless of, I'm sorry to say your submission does not meet with current standards. Jim Lee.
Who are these artists? Who are the artists with these horrible drawings? Are they saying who they are?
This one was Robin Eisenberg. This one is.
I'm sure they listed
Are
on
they
the
known
comic.
people? Are they known? Are they well known?
No.
Okay, they're just
They're cheap. They're cheap labor. And the point is, like, Jim Lee is like one of the best artists of all.
right. Yeah, I guess makes sense.
Here's Dick Giordano, who's featured predominantly in our Charlton Comics documentary. And thank you for your submission. Although DC Comics maintains an open door policy, your submission does not meet with current DC standards. Very truly, Dick Giordano, the great Dick Giordano. This is the one I got. I got one from Howard Mackey. This is exactly what mine looks like. We do know that to make progress, you must work hard and be tough on yourself. That's basically, it was like, you suck. And a lot of the people on Twitter are like, don't make fun of these artists. They're going to go commit suicide because you're being mean. And like, yeah, well, how would you like to get a letter like this when you're 16 that says, look at this one. Resubmit when your work is consistent, when you have learned to draw hands.
Ouch.
Like, that's what they say. Your best pencils are on page 7, and close up. The rest of the pencils are weaker. Like the one I got was just like that. It was just like, you suck, dude. Keep trying. And Todd McFarlane, 350 rejection letters. Look at this. Look at all those rejection letters.
Yeah.
He kept them all.
Todd McFarlane, again, one of the best artists in the business.
Right, right.
Pretty good, but not quite there. From Jim Shooter. We know Jim. Yeah, it's absolutely incredible that these guys who are legendary artists, the best in the business, got hundreds of letters like that, and these people were given jobs.
Mm.
Well, I mean, obviously, it was a good motivator because look at where they are today.
But that's the point. And
We can't give out first prize prizes.
Right, but they are now, right?
Prizes.
But apparently you can't.
What were you going to say, Edson?
I'm saying apparently you can give first prizes to everybody because how are these people?
And this is what you get. This is what you get when you do that.
This is participation trophy right here.
Yep.
I mean, I have nothing. I have nothing against that. I don't.
I do have something against that. This is hard work. This is 350 rejection letters, and he still
right
himself up and figured out a way to make it work and worked hard and got better. These people just
there's a standard. There should be a standard.
Absolutely.
You know? And these have not met that standard. It isn't, it's pretty obvious.
And the idea that to criticize this is not being nice or not being fair.
Right.
Artists. Well, you know what? They got paid. So who's laughing now, right? They got a paycheck for this shit.
It's kind of on whoever approved it, I think, more so than the artist. I mean, the artists are doing what they do. It's really not on them. It's on whoever approved it and put it out there.
Jude, you can speak to this. Edson, you can speak to this. Pete, you probably can too. I mean, especially going to when Jackie and I started the Charlton movie project, we know a lot of artists and writers now, both independent and top of the field. Yep. And there are so many good artists and writers out there that aren't published that smoke this stuff.
Absolutely.
We have one that sometimes comes on our show.
Yeah, Paul.
Paul's an amazing artist.
Paul, just there's so many guys. I mean, it's.
I don't have a problem with that being a piece of art. I just don't think. As a piece of art, if someone was to do something like that and put it up on their Instagram, and I saw it, I'd be like, oh, that's kind of cool. It's a different take on Wonder Woman.
Right.
But I'm curious to know whether or not DC was being a little bit more sympathetic because they're trying to make a statement. It's the artist's statement, but if it doesn't fit if it doesn't fit the artwork of the character through DC, then
the standard.
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Right.
The standard is the standard, and the standard's wrong. The standard's wrong.
I mean, you can't expect to draw Batman in a yellow costume, submit it, and then have DC say, "Oh, it's a great idea." No, they're going to say, "Yeah, no, it doesn't fit Batman." Right? I mean, that's where I'm looking at it from that standpoint.
What if you put Batman in mom jeans?
I think it would be cool, but I don't think it should be a comic.
I would be like, rip it apart.
Yeah.
No, what I'm trying to say is there's a place for that online if people want to do something like that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I don't think anyone's saying that's not the case. It's just
right. It's just I don't think it fits the comic. It fits what readers want.
It's shit. It's shit. Right. Let's face it. In the comics industry, they're losing money. They can't sell books, and they're publishing that. They don't want to pay a good artist. That's why.
I think they're trying to play it safe too, Keith. That's why, because they think if they play it safe, they get more of an audience if they play it safe.
You really think it's more cheap? I think it's
playing it cheap. They're playing it cheap, dude.
Yeah, no, that's completely it. I mean, it's people with talent are expensive.
And
if they aren't expensive, they won't be for long.
What Edson?
I'm saying no. I don't think they'll get a larger audience with this. I don't think anyone's going to buy it. I mean,
I'm going to buy it as a goof, just like I was going to buy new Warriors from Daniel Kibblesmith, featured in an opening video.
For you to comment on, but it's like.
By the way, you guys, I had to sit through that damn Millionaire Matchmaker to pull the clips of him.
Oh yeah.
I have a ton.
And we love you for it.
There's so many good things coming.
Sorry, Pete. I missed when you were talking. What'd you say?
Yeah, sorry.
About him looking through all those clips of him on the dating show.
I had to watch the damn thing.
No, what you said just a little while, and I kind of.
I said, yeah, good artists are expensive, and if they aren't, they will be soon.
Mm.
Yeah,
you know,
and
it's
books aren't selling. The Captain Marvel book doesn't sell shit.
What was
yeah,
the quote?
so they're not gonna.
What's the quote, Keith? You have in your email signature? Yeah, I always laugh at that.
Oh yeah.
I got it from Jeff Young. It says, "If you think hiring professionals is expensive, try hiring an amateur."
Exactly. It's perfect.
Because, and it's a great line, and I've had it in my signature for 15 years. Because for a long time, people were looking for, the kid out of school is cheaper. I'm going to hire him. He knows how to do Premiere or Final Cut or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, call me when it's a mess. And and I get that phone call. Oh my God, you got to come fix this.
Yeah,
he's slow. He's behind. This, that. All the clips are named untitled. It's a mess. So I'd end up making money coming in as the digital janitor.
And I think in this case, what's gonna happen. Once they fall flat in their face, they're gonna be desperate. And
no, I don't think AT&T or Disney cares, and they're looking for a way to shut Marvel and DC.
Yeah, that's the problem.
That's why they don't care. They don't give a shit. So
speaking of cleaning up,
good Pete with the segue. Stacy called and said she found a box of comics and this was in it.
Wow.
I wish.
Can I buy that fluffy?
Sure, I got 1.5.
Dinner on Stacy.
Yeah. I wish it was me.
Where's my lobster dinner?
I have this poster hanging in my office here, right behind me. It was a very fine 7.0, and it sold for 1.5 mil.
Wow.
7.0. Yeah.
I have some from the 50s, but some are missing covers and stuff.
Do you have any Charlton comics?
No.
No.
I don't think so.
Do they? Oh, there it is.
So there it is.
Jeez.
First appearance of the Batman. Yeah. That's awesome.
How was it kept so nice for so long? I mean, someone really loved it.
Yeah, well, usually when people hang on to these things, and it's funny because, back then people traded comics and stuff.
Yeah.
And they got the shit beat out of them, which is why they're so rare.
Right.
So usually if you stumble across something like this, the first place you take it to is the CGC, and they grade it and they put it in a plastic box, basically a window box. And they certify it, and and that's where it stays. So chances are this thing's been in one of these for a long time.
Oh, okay.
My brother gave me a Amazing Spider-Man number 13, and
wow.
I had it. I could show it another next time, but I literally took it out because I just had to. I mean, it's not like that's CGC, right?
Yeah,
it's more of a cheaper company. They didn't even grade it; they just put it in the
window box.
In the window boxing, I opened it up. I had to. I was just staring at it forever, and I was like, I want to smell this. I want to open it up.
You could have
my hands on it.
I
did, and I didn't feel guilty at all.
Just look at the reprint instead.
I couldn't help it.
Somebody says here, 2014, a 9.0 copy of Action Comics #1 First Appearance Superman sold for 3.2.
That's insane.
Didn't Nicolas Cage buy one of them? One of the Action Comics #1?
It was either that or it was Superman #1, the actual Superman.
Oh, I thought Nicolas Cage bought one.
I'm not sure. Not sure.
You know who's
that's why he's broke.
Yeah, that's right. You know who's a big comic book collector? Eminem. I read an article the other day, and Eminem has some pretty rare stuff. And
you know who else is a big comic book collector? I mean, Robert Downey Jr.
Or
Tony Stark himself. No, he's always been a comic book dork, apparently. Yeah. So again, I stumbled across another. Ethan's been tweeting a lot lately. And I was just scrolling through and I said, hey, whoa, I know this dude.
He's so annoying.
Daym Drops. He lives right near me. He's from Connecticut. From New Britain, Connecticut. So Ethan is asking people to support Indiegogo for Daym, so I hopped over, and here it is. He's getting a comic book.
Nice.
So I supported it. I backed it. I bought the $20 level, and I picked this cover down here. It's going to be by this guy. He doesn't have the cover, but it's going to probably be like something like that. And I've invited Daym to come on the show. I haven't gotten a response yet, but hopefully. But I think that's kind of cool. I mean, this guy, my girlfriend found him in 2012. She texted me one morning. I remember I woke up on a Saturday morning and she texted me. She goes, "This guy lives right near you and he's hilarious. You got to watch this." And I watched it and he was reviewing a Five Guys burger. And I'm like, this is genius. He just puts the camcorder on his dashboard and eats. And reviews the food.
Wrong. I'm sorry. It's just wrong.
I'm happy for him.
That should not be a thing.
I honestly didn't think he was going to live this long.
I think like he's probably like a really funny person in real life, but the whole.
I'm happy for him. This is a guy who figured out a gimmick and made it work. Where he got a show on the Food Network, and he's endorsed now. He's doing commercials for Burger King and all this kind of stuff.
I hear it.
But it's like super sad me, dude. He's going to end up getting a heart attack one of these days.
Well, I was watching one of his most recent ones. He goes to McDonald's just this past week down the street here, and he gets he gets a 6-patty quarter pounder because some girl sent him a video where she challenged him. She ate a 4-patty quarter pounder. And she finished it. So she challenged him to top her. So he goes, "I'm going to go do 6." He got halfway through it and he's like, "I can't do it." He's like, "I'm getting too old. I can't eat like this anymore." And
They actually make that? Jeez.
if you ask for it, it's funny. He goes to the drive-thru and he's like, "I'd like a quarter pounder with 6 patties." And the girl's like, "Wait, what?"
6 patties, dude?
He's like, "I want a quarter pounder with 6 patties." She's like, "Are you serious? Are you joking?" He's like, "No, I'm not joking. I want
That's something you eat, and then afterwards you just sit on the couch and go, "Oh my god, my body hates
Your heart explodes.
Yeah.
my body just hates."
Mathematically, you shouldn't eat for like 3 days after that.
Right.
Oh.
And, he's a big dude, and I do worry that he's gonna.
Artwork is cool. I mean, I do say that.
I do like that art. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
I like it too. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Hey, he's a local guy. I'm happy for him. You know what I like the most about him, and I remember when he got the show on the Food Network. He's like, I'm not going to move out of Connecticut because that's my home and that's where I started and that's where my.
Does he make food?
I don't know, but he's doing more upscale reviews. He went to this place. I was just there the same day too. I must have just missed him. Called Food and Fork or Knife something Fork in Farmington. Really, really good. And I had the same chicken sandwich he did. It was phenomenal.
He has a friend he goes to places with.
Yeah,
they sit outside and. And they rate different.
I also see he's doing new videos too, where he'll go to a drive-through and pay for the car behind him.
Yeah,
which is very cool. So he goes to the drive-through and he says, "Whatever, take their order and I'm paying for it."
He brings his daughter on the show once in a while too, which is kind of funny.
It's cool. So good on him. He's I think I'd love to talk to him. We've tweeted back and forth quite a bit over the years.
And he's a great personality.
Really good personality. Just seems like a great guy, and good on him, man. He did the simplest thing, and made a career out of it. So how could you not admire that?
Well, speaking of food, I want to talk about something, and I highly recommend this this cereal.
Frog eggs.
I had this. I went grocery shopping, right? And I couldn't wait to get home, and I rushed home, and I had 2 bowls of this last night before I went to bed.
It's like Baby Yoda's talking to us.
And obviously I guess there's 11 of them, but each box comes with a nice little backer with a little picture. So that means I might have to buy another box.
Or 10 more.
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like I can't. It's like kind of like Pops, but sweeter, and marshmallows.
Oh, there's marshmallows. Oh, little eggs, like green eggs. Judy's not.
Of course.
Highly recommend if you see this in the store. And I got it for $2. It was on sale.
$2. It's already on clearance.
It was one. It was one of these items that literally, like, I had a bowl last night, and I went to go sit down on the couch, and I was watching television, and I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm like, I'm gonna do it.
Oh my goodness. No
Eat a
regrets.
second bowl.
No regrets.
I've been fighting those urges now since late August because I weighed in at my heaviest of all time, and I'm down 14 pounds. And
Oh, congratulations.
thank you. And trying not to eat late at night, but
it's hard, especially when you're watching television.
last night I was watching the Tampa Bay Rams game, and I did the fourth quarter, and then I went, screw it, and I grabbed a bag of Doritos. So it was a great game.
It's always a great game. It's always when you're watching television. You're just at the end of the night, you're sitting there, and you're just like,
yeah, it just
I can get through a movie or a show. It's like sports. It's the sports. I gotta eat something.
It's a natural impulse.
Yeah. It's like popping popcorn when I watch some movies.
Right.
Yes.
I just have to.
Yeah.
Well, I saved the best for last because I figured we could go into a really long conversation or not, but I saved it for last. Thud.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Authentic.
Representing people as they typically are, maybe.
In situations. So
that's a very vague word to use.
After reading the article, which has its fair points, and it also has things that are like, well, that's think of Barack Obama again. You need to get over it quick. I just thought if they want situations to be more authentic, I'm going to make brushing my teeth the movie.
Stacey, pouring a bowl of cereal.
We're gonna have dude pouring a bowl of cereal.
Or eating the cereal. Yeah.
No, I said was
Oh my god.
Get up. We're gonna have breakfast. We're gonna brush our teeth. We're gonna take a shower.
I'm gonna have to eat some.
Go
ahead. Sorry.
So, I know I sent you guys an email where I sent this article and I sent the show Robert Meyer Burnett did addressing this.
Mm-hmm.
Where I thought he did a masterful job, and I will not recreate it because he spent like 20 minutes reading this article and lending comments to it. What I did do, and I pulled a clip from his show that kind of reinforces, after he read the article, he said, well, he thought about it, and he said, I think we're already here, and there's no reason to bring this up at this level because it seems like for the last 20 years we've kind of been going in this direction. I would even double down and say we were here a long time ago. We were here in like the 80s, but again, it goes back to Bill Maher to me too, saying that you want to constantly draw attention to it all the time, instead of just dealing with it on a case-by-case basis. You just want to constantly be out there looking for it. So I wasn't sure if I should play this clip from Rob or do it. I'm going to play it. I have the same thing pulled up, but I think his disposition, I just don't want him to get angry and go, hey, you didn't give you permission to play that. So I put a little graphic that says, don't get mad at me, Rob. Do you want to play it? It's about 3 minutes.
Sure.
Where he addresses the Oscar winners of the last 12 or 15 years.
Yeah.
That addresses these topics. So
the stories themselves, even if they're coming out of the most authentic representation of underrepresented groups, does that mean the story that's being told is going to appeal to the widest common denominator? And also, does that mean somebody should put, in the case of certain things, tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars behind those stories? Because remember, Hollywood is first and foremost a business. It is a business that is designed to sell a product to the widest group of people possible. So you have to ask yourself, what stories are worth telling? Now, what I find really interesting is that in my mind, over the last, say, 20 years, I thought that we had been going in that direction, that we had been seeing more interesting stories told by more marginalized voices. And I looked. So let's take a quick, just a quick gander at the Academy Award winners and the nominees of the last, say, a little over a decade. Let's go all the way back to 2008. Slumdog Millionaire, while directed by Danny Boyle, was a story that was set in India with a predominantly East Indian cast. It won the Academy Award for Best Picture. And then, of course, we had that same year, Milk, the story of Harvey Milk, was made. A very famous person in the LGBTQ community who was assassinated, well, murdered, I guess, say assassinated, in San Francisco. Now, those were 2 films out of 5 that were nominated that year. That you had representation that was pretty interesting. Of the 5, there were only 5 films nominated. 2 of them, we saw a different culture, and the other was dealing with LGBTQ issues. That was 2008. In 2009, you had things, Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire, came out. And then in 2010, The King's Speech that won dealt with somebody, although he was royalty, he had a speech impediment. In 2010, not so much. But 2011, you had The Help. You had, The Help. There you go. Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. In 2012, we had Beasts of the Southern Wild in 2012. You had Django Unchained. You had Life of Pi. Well, and you also had Lincoln. 12 Years a Slave, 2013. Dallas Buyers Club, 2013. Philomena, 2013. It goes on. 2014, Selma, The Theory of Everything. In 2015, you had The Room, but and in 2016, Moonlight, Fences, Hacksaw Ridge. 2017, Get Out, The Shape of Water, Call Me by Your Name. 2018, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, a movie about a gay man directed by a gay man. Green Book, although a lot of people don't like that. Black Panther, Roma, The Favorite. 2019, Parasite won Best Picture. That's pretty good.
So I thought he made the point better than I could. There's been a lot of it, and those are all Best Picture nominees over the years. So to sit here and claim that there's not enough, really? I mean, what is enough? So that leads you farther down a rabbit hole to this think tank for inclusion and equity. So I came into here, and they have the right inclusion fact sheets, which are these guides. So, what they've been doing a lot at the studios now, and even with books and comics, and they bring in sensitivity readers that read this stuff and go, oh, that's going to offend this group, and that's going to offend this group, and that's going to offend these, and these are going to offend, and everyone's going to be offended, and you got to fix it.
Have you seen Borat?
No, I won't watch the second one. I don't care.
Anyway, that's what I'm just.
So you come in here, and they have these guides they set up for who they feel are marginalized people in entertainment: African Americans, disabled people, migrants, criminal justice, Latinx, Muslim. Which, Christ, that's racist right there. I mean, Jesus. So I went into this one, which is the one Rob went into and the one that Gary went into. Mm-hmm. So they split it up as, overrepresented stories and harmful stereotypes and things we'd like to see more of. So you have over here like the the overcomer, disabled people overcoming their disability, whether to do extraordinary things and live an ordinary life, and this kind of thing. Well, okay, but again, that makes a good story. So you don't want to see this?
Why does that look like it says inspirational porn?
It does say inspirational porn.
It does?
Yes, inspirational porn. Portrayals of disabled people as inspirational based solely on their disability, most often for the benefit of a non-disabled audience.
It's a terrible
These
word.
often focus on good disabled people, but don't address the structural and societal barriers disabled people face.
That's terrible.
This is, cure at all costs. The character starts with a disability who is later cured through magic, miracles, or medical intervention. This promotes harmful medical model of disability, ignoring that disability is a valid identity. One many people wear with pride. Okay. I don't know if pride's the right word to use. I think people learn to overcome, to master their disabilities, but I don't think they walk around saying that they're proud. I'm
Dignity, maybe dignity.
dignity. I'm pretty sure Stephen Hawking would have preferred to not be in the wheelchair.
So basically, this is like a checklist. Basically,
this is what they say is overrepresented in our media. Like the Overcomer, the first thing I thought of was Rudy. And I have to agree, Rudy would have been a much more interesting movie if Rudy said, I don't want to be on the football team, guys. I just want you to acknowledge my disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
That would have made an awesome movie, right? If he just stood around while people said, oh, Rudy, I acknowledge your disability. It's unrealistic. It's unrealistic.
It doesn't make good storytelling either.
No, that's the point. And then
what disabled person wouldn't want, like some kind of medical miracle or whatever? I mean, that's the whole thing behind our technology. It's like, why wouldn't you want?
Pretty sure Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder would have liked to see.
Did you ever see that movie, My Left Foot?
No.
I did.
It's a great
movie.
Yes. And it's about a guy with a severe disability that he can only function with his foot, and he does everything. But it's inspiring because it's basically him really pushing hard, and he's got a very supportive family in the movie.
So that falls into the inspiration porn category here, Jude.
Right.
We don't want to see any more of that.
But he doesn't. I don't know. I just think
I get it.
There's been movies like this that have been out. I mean, movie making's been out for a very long time, and this is just some kind of BS standard that just recently has been. We got 100 years of cinema, and all of a sudden, in 2020, we have a problem with it all. Right. Doesn't make any sense to me.
Disability superpowers. Characters with a sensory disability developing superhuman powers related to their other senses, e.g., the blind man with exceptional hearing and deaf woman with X-ray vision. Well, Daredevil. Right. Daredevil, he was doused with chemicals that robbed him of his sight, but amplified his other senses. That's fantasy. It's superhero story. Like mythical little people or dwarves, portrayed only as mythical creatures such as elves. There are estimated 30,000 Americans with dwarfism, all with the same universal desires of average height people to belong, succeed, feel free, and find love. Okay. Peter Dinklage is one of the most popular people in Hollywood right now, and he's not always a elf.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Come on, man. Willow.
Yeah,
Willow.
In Elf, it's played for laughs, but everything else, I mean, hell, he's one of the more popular characters on Game of Thrones, and he was in Infinity War, and they
X-Men
make
actually,
X-Men. They don't even call attention to his size at all.
He's one of the most powerful corporate industrialists on the planet, and that's all they talk about is that he's going to destroy mutant kind. It's almost the opposite, where he sees the X-Men as the freaks, right?
Well, Elf, he makes fun of himself, and he knows it, and he's not insulted by that. He's like, yes, I'm insulting myself. I don't care. It's funny.
Well, he's in Living in Oblivion from the 90s. There, the independent film with Steve Buscemi. where he's in the dream scene with the apple, and he's like, "Why'd you pick me for the dream scene? Because I'm a dwarf."
I mean, if you read his story too, I mean, they talk about him growing up. His parents didn't make anything special for him. They wanted him to succeed in real life, in the real world, and so he wasn't like given those, special whatever. So that definitely plays to him, moving forward and not trying to be. And
I speak for myself. I don't think of him as a dwarf, or I think of him as short.
Right.
Guy's got he's an incredible actor.
Absolutely.
And he's got
he's an amazing actor.
His voice is phenomenal. He's
A
a
Death at a Funeral. Did you ever see that movie?
Yeah.
He plays the gay dwarf.
He's
where am I going? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he's immensely talented, and I don't think of him as a small person. I just think of him as short.
Right.
So they want more of this stuff. Person next door. Characters portrayed in mainstream professions: bankers, teachers, lawyers, first responders. In families as good parents, portrayals of disabilities being unremarkable and normal.
You mean a token white guy?
No, this is for disabled people. This is all based on disabled.
No, I know, but that basically is the casting for what they project in movies. It's a typecast, I think. Personally, I've seen it.
Since when portrayals of disabilities being unremarkable? Since when do we have parents of a disabled person going, "Oh, look at you in the wheelchair"? I've never seen that. Where do they get this from?
I have no idea.
Three-dimensionality. Stories centered on things other than a character's disability, e.g. their hobbies, friendships, careers, and aspirations. Okay, here's one for you. In fact, I'm going to look it up right now. My good friend Mike Horton is a voice actor and, an actor.
Yes.
Who we should get on here. And he voiced a character in the 1980s, 1983, named Chip Chase, who was a genius in a fucking wheelchair.
Yeah, but Keith, we can go all night. Professor X. Come on.
Professor X. But this is a teenage kid. They is a teenage kid who was a computer and helped them overcome the Decepticons.
Walter Jr.
Yeah,
from
they never brought that up.
Right. They never once.
They never brought up the fact
Chip, you're in a wheelchair. Never once.
Just happened to be.
He was just Chip Chase.
Geordie LaForge.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he's got the visor, but
well, here's the Geordie one. This is for Geordie LaForge. LeVar, if you're watching, we're on this. Healthy romantic lives, dating in relationships and having sex. It's a common misconception that disabled people aren't interested in dating or can't have sex.
Who thinks that? Like,
What the heck?
Geordie was the horniest dude on the Enterprise. He was horrible at hooking up with women. He was almost stalker, like creepy. Every time a pretty girl came on that ship, he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" We love our Geordie LaForge. We got plenty of this now. They can stop with this one. We don't need things we like. This should be an overrepresented intersectionality. We get this in.
Oh yeah, that's every time.
LGBTQBLT plus women in wide range of racial and ethnic backgrounds. Yeah, we get plenty of that.
So let me ask you a question though. Does it really matter if what kind of gender or whatever sex the character wants to be with as a character on a movie, or do you just care about the character itself?
It's all about pronouns now, Jude. It doesn't matter about story, and it doesn't matter who. It's all about the pronouns. Make sure you get all these things in.
I mean, there's some people on shows that they never show any preference. It's just, but you love the character. Who cares?
Exactly.
And you never think about it.
You don't care.
There's countless episodes of Doctor Who where they.
No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm
Okay.
I'm
There's.
sorry. Pete.
Go
I know,
ahead.
there's a lot in
You.
here. There's a lot to read in here.
No, just saying it's interesting. Like, they're talking about. Oh, I thought they were talking about people with disabilities specifically, but I guess
They are. This is all about disabled people.
No. But so they're calling like gay LGBTQ people disabled?
That's what I mean. That's why it's so.
That's weird too.
Oh,
Yeah.
What?
Point Stacy.
That's why I was trying to bring up the typecasting before, because these don't read like a person with
That
disability.
makes no sense. So
Typecasted.
intersectionality, that whole that they're considering them disabled.
They're contradicting themselves.
I think this one goes into all of them. I bet if we open all 6 of these, this is in there. Because this is the most important thing to them right here. This is it.
And it's being included in media. Like I don't feel it's
Ad nauseum. I just read an article. They're casting 2 of these for the Obi-Wan series now. This one, the funny part is, you look at this column, right? This column right here, the overrepresented, and then the things we'd like to see more of, and they're almost the same in ways. They kind of contradict themselves.
Yep.
So like they were saying, like, you know, the overrepresented stuff about, you know, them overcoming their disabilities and this and that, and then they say, we want to see more pride. Characters comfortable with and proud of and celebrating their disabilities. Show a character who the character is because of their disability rather than what they can do in spite of it.
It doesn't even matter with the disability.
Isn't that contradicting what they say right over here? I mean,
most stories always have an arc, whether or not they're disability or not. I mean, you could say the whole thing about Harry Potter. He had that horrible family, and then you know, the whole.
But he's not physically disabled. He's not.
No, but he had a story arc where he came from somewhere, and you know what I mean. Like, even if you're disabled or not, the characters are still going to be going through the same kind of arc. You know what I'm trying to say?
You know who is disabled on that?
What's that?
Voldemort. He doesn't have a nose.
What I'm trying to say is that it doesn't matter if the character's disabled or not. I mean, you could say any character in cinema has gone through something to get an arc to go somewhere.
I agree. That's called a story arc. That's called
right. That is called a story arc.
And endings. What they want to do is just take anything interesting in a story and make it bland and boring and take everything off. Use better language. Whenever possible, use non-ableist language, i.e., instead of calling someone a psycho or crazy, use words like terrible or irrational. Always avoid offensive words like artard and engit as a word misused to describe dwarfs. Note, dwarf is becoming the preferred term over little person.
Can you imagine the remake? Can you imagine the remake of the Goodfellas with this?
There is no such. Yeah.
I guess Alfred Hitchcock will have to rename his classic movie "Terrible," or, you know, Alfred Hitchcock's "Irrational."
That'd be.
I mean, there is some value in some of this. I think is something.
Of course, there's value in everything.
You know, absolutely, and I think, you know, it's like something in the back of your mind, or a reference maybe if you're not sure how to represent someone. I think these can be valuable suggestions, but
do we really need a bunch of documents?
I know.
Basically, tell you what is common sense and what has been working for 100 years until this year. All of a sudden,
there's been a lot of there's some stuff looking back. You're like, it's fine for that time, but like even like watching old episodes of Friends, sometimes you're like, whoa. Like, you know?
Yeah, but again, but
it's the time, and you know, but we evolve, and some of this stuff pulls us forward, I think, a little bit to a certain degree. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
but
I know what you're saying, and I do agree for the most part.
Like ridiculous. So all I could think of when I read this was, this is what's going to happen to our entertainment. Remember The Simpsons? Of course, The Simpsons are always way ahead of everybody else, right? 30 years ago, they had an episode where Marge did this. Marge got all upset and wanted to
remember that episode.
Children's programming.
Yeah.
And she got them to change Itsy and Scratchy, and this is what was the result.
Nope.
Lemonade? Please, I made it just for you. You are my best friend.
Itchy and Scratchy seem to have lost their edge. Oh, I think it conveys a very nice message of sharing.
I think it sucks. This really hits the spot. Doesn't it, though? You make really good lemonade, Scratchy. Oh, thank you, Itchy.
Wasn't that funny, boys and girls?
That's what's going to happen.
It sucks.
But you also understand that there's a reason why there was a rating system for movies.
Right.
I mean, obviously, if you wanted to go bring your kid to a wholesome movie that was rated G, there was, you can do that. If you wanted to go with your wife, your husband, girlfriend, boyfriend to see a movie at night that is a little bit more edgier, you go to a rated R movie.
Well, being edgy and being like blatantly offensive to like a certain group of people are two different things. You know what I mean? And
right.
I think there are things to be mindful of. But again, I totally agree with what you're saying.
I mean, there has been a rating system because of these exact things, and not every movie is going to portray flowers and potpourri.
Again, that Barack Obama quote is going to be used to death on this show going forward.
I hear you.
I saw Eyes Wide Shut in the movie theater, and that was rated. I think it was rated X, actually.
See, the bottom line is you can't try to get every bit of entertainment tailored to a specific agenda or to fit every single person's taste, or try not to offend anybody.
Well,
you just get itchy and scratchy drinking lemonade.
Right.
It's always been turn the channel. Go watch something else.
Let the viewer make that decision.
Thank you.
They don't have to make the decision. That's where I went with the rating system. I mean, if going into a movie like what was the big movie that those women were watching with the gray?
50 Shades of Grey.
50 Shades of Grey.
I've never seen one.
What a hunk of garbage.
I've never seen it either.
Seemed to be a best-selling couple. 3 or 4 books.
You know what's going to save us from this, I think, are comedians like Bill Burr and Dave Chappelle and people like that are just like, people are going to get pissed off, And Kevin Hart just did a new special that's on Netflix right now.
Is it good? I haven't watched it.
It's okay. It's okay. He definitely tackles that. He said, I can't remember, something about like, oh, they'll cancel me and like whatever. But they're acknowledging that and they're not backing down. And I think that needs to continue to happen. And I think that people like that are going to help kind of stave off some of this to a certain degree, because I think it's going to kind of make people kind of,
and more liberal voices like Bill Maher, who's, like Absolutely. You said, for years has been speaking out about this.
Yeah, he does.
So I missed earlier in the show, I played Bill Maher did his show. What do they call it? The New Rules, and he attacked this stuff, just attacked it. It was great.
But this stuff has never worked. I mean, even through the dawn of like the Tipper Gore stuff.
I was just going to bring up the PMRC,
right? With Twisted Sister. Was it Run DMC? Was it Run DMC?
It was the Frank Zappa. It was a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of them, and that just
Motley Crue.
Right, and that just exploded in everybody's face. Like it didn't work.
Well, they got what they wanted. They started putting warning stickers on the albums,
right?
And that's fine. I get that, and I do have a problem with putting a warning sticker on something like Gone with the Wind. It's a AFI Top 100. It's an all-time classic. If you can't figure out as a grown adult, a fully formed adult person, that was made almost 100 years ago, and things were a little different back then. If you look at that and you think it's contemporary, you're an idiot. Right. The fact that they have to put a disclaimer that, like, well, there might be some sensitive things on here that'll offend the audience. Well, of course there are. It was made in the 1930s, and it was about the Civil War era. What do you think is going to be in there?
If you're going to make something from back then, speaking of authentic, that's authentic. That's what would happen.
We don't need to put trigger warnings on everything that's dated.
Right.
We get it. This is their big one too. I bet this is in almost all of them too. Toxic masculinity. Repeatedly portraying Muslim men as emotionally closed, sexist, polygamous, homophobic, falsely presumes their monoliths, and behaviors and traits are due solely to religion and not heavily affected by cultural influences. I can't think of any movie I've seen in the last 5 years with a Muslim man in it that acted like that.
I actually think if I read that as a Muslim,
True Lies.
I'd be offended.
True Lies, maybe, but he was the villain.
Homophobic? No, he was just power hungry.
He was a bad guy.
Right.
He was just a bad guy.
Right. It's just, Jude, you're right. If I was a Muslim guy and I read this, I'd be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Where are you coming from with this?
Yeah, I'd be like, well, who wrote this shit? That's definitely not a Muslim.
Brown girl, white knight, oppressed Muslim women with hijabs and sexualized belly dancing, and like that's just cartoon. Like people don't do that anymore.
I mean,
yeah, in Octopussy they had that, but that was made in 1983.
I'm always curious to know whether or not people, when they do write, whether they actually just place the character into some kind of like I don't know. Like I don't think people write to actually say this is what I need to do.
No, that's
in my story. I just decided to pick this character because I just felt like it. Because I just felt like the character was gay, or I felt like the character was black or Hispanic. Like
exactly.
They don't really think about it in depth. They just say it just feels like that. Well, that's what I want my character to be.
That's what you're thinking on when you're. That's the whole point. They're trying to get this into the hands of writers, so that writers, have to compromise their creative vision and follow these guidelines.
Right.
They follow these guidelines right into bankruptcy because no one's going to pay to watch people brush their teeth.
Or drink lemonade.
Or drink lemonade. I made it just for you.
I mean, how many?
So the mouse was incapable of making his own lemonade. Is that what you're saying?
It's probably because he's short. He's a dwarf, Pete.
Oh, you can't say that. I mean, now you're saying that he's incapable because of a disability.
Well, I don't know. He's gray and he has buck teeth.
Oh.
Cats are the closest thing. I think cats are. Their brains are the closest to human brains in development. So the cat clearly is smarter and has to make the lemonade.
I think people have.
You're an istinophobe, man.
I think people have to stop reading into stuff and just let dogs rest.
And that's there was a clear absence of dogs in that cartoon, and I'm offended. That dog.
Precisely. Where's Poochie? Where is Poochie?
Unrepresented.
Does Poochie not deserve lemonade? Is that what you're saying? He's somehow subpar.
He's underrepresented, like Edson just said.
Yep.
I think that if people feel very strongly about these types of things, then they should write their own versions of whatever and see where that goes and get.
Stacey, that's a brilliant idea.
Perfect.
Instead of.
Let's go to the About Us page. Whoops. Wait. Where's the
God,
here we go.
I can't.
These 4 people right here should write their own fucking movie, is what you're saying.
Yes.
I think they should give it a go. Just
That's a
do
great
all their
idea.
standards, and maybe it'll be awesome. Maybe
And
it'll
use their rules.
Shireen, Angela, Tawal, and Maha, we task you with writing your own.
I would go see it.
But what's wrong with writing a movie that depicts actual reality and not this fictional, like, made up little dystopian future they want?
Well, they don't think it's dystopian. They think it's Eden.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
It's dystopian.
It's utopian, and that's.
I mean, I want to make it clear. I like the idea of a world that's inclusive of people, and
We all do.
That's not the human race. That's not how life works.
I've been a fan of Star Trek since I was a little kid, and Star Trek showed that in the 1960s. But
my point is that I feel this way. Like I love the idea of including different people and people of different disabilities or different whatever. I think that's great, and we should do that. But I don't feel like we should be pounded on top of the head about it all the time.
you should not be mandated.
It shouldn't be
follow
mandated.
guidelines.
Suggestion,
If you're inspired to tell a story, it might not include these things.
right?
You might be inspired to tell a second story that does include these things.
But it might be an ugly story.
You're not wrong for not including it, but
And you're right, Jude. It might be a violent story. It could be an ugly story. It could be.
Right, but there's nothing wrong with that because some of the ugliest movies, like the ones that really hit home, after the movie's done, it has a message, and you're like, "Holy crap!" Like then you sort of understand society should never go back to that again. Then I mean, it's like watching Schindler's List. I mean, you learn from these things. Yes, they're horrific, and there's a lot of things in the movies that are legitimately really fucked up. But the shock value is what makes it stuck in your head, and you always remember that.
If you don't learn from history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Right. And I don't see anything wrong with that. You can't just candy coat everything. Sometimes movies are ugly for a reason, and they portray sides that people normally wouldn't see. When you see a war film and it's really realistic, I mean, they storm the beaches of Normandy, they're coming off those boats and the ramp goes down and people's heads are immediately getting blown away. That actually is probably what happened, and that was the realistic.
I'm glad you brought that up. Stunning and Brave in 1944 was running the beach in Normandy, storming the beach. Stunning and Brave in 2020 is sitting on Twitter and complaining about social justice.
If you're trying to be creative and write a story, and you have to be mandated by all these rules, that you might as well just not bother, because that's not your story anymore.
Well, you're a writer. Yeah, you're a writer.
Exactly. So I wouldn't want to put all these, conditions on it. Then it's not the story I want to write. So you're just discouraging somebody from even trying.
Let me ask you a question, because you're Portuguese.
Yep.
Do you feel the need to include minorities in some of your stories just because?
No, not just because. They just naturally appear there, but it's almost like it just comes out of your head that way. I mean, I don't think about it.
Well, I've known
it's how you picture them.
I've known Edson since we were like 15, and we've developed quite a few stories together.
Yep.
And the one that I have your manuscript over here is very diverse. And those characters we invented when we were in high school.
Yep.
In the 80s.
That was in the 80s. It just happened. It wasn't something that we weren't reading a manual on how to be inclusive.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Just thought of 6 characters, the 6 protagonists in and what we thought would be cool, a cool mix of people to work together.
Right.
I mean, there was a time in Hollywood history where everything was whitewashed, and we've definitely come a long way from. I mean, just thinking, the example that comes to my mind automatically is Charlton Heston playing a Mexican in the like, you know what I mean? It's just like, so I mean, we have there was a long way for us to go, and we've definitely gotten there to some, but that took people making those changes on purpose and people bringing things to light that needed to be made changed.
Correct.
So I don't think you can't discount all of it, but
that's a great point. Go ahead, Pete. You go first.
No, but basically, whitewashing is a big complaint now. I mean, Ghost in the Shell being a poster child for that. It's a Japanese story where the lead character is Japanese, and they cast Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, right, yeah.
Coming from a business point of view. There aren't any Japanese American actresses that can fill a seat, as they do. Sometimes it's because of a business point of view as to why certain decisions have to be made.
Right.
Well, like Robert Meyer Burnett pointed out in that clip I played, at the end of the day, Hollywood is still a business.
Yeah.
And going back to Touch of Evil, that was, and it's kind of piggybacking on your thought, Pete. And you're right; it's about butts and seats and making bank at the box office.
Yeah.
Back then, we don't have movie stars really anymore. There's a couple, but we don't have movie stars. We have actors. Back then, they were movie stars.
Mm-hmm.
And to Pete's point, there wasn't a bankable Mexican American probably to play that role. Charlton Heston was one of the biggest actors around. I know Orson Welles hated the idea too, but the studio said Charlton Heston's going to make us a shit ton.
Could you imagine that being? Could you imagine them taking Tom Hanks and putting
all over his face?
You know what I'm saying? Like that's
no, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Yeah, no, right.
And times, and that was the past. But I'm just saying that we evolve as we move forward. Right. I think so.
And I love that movie, but Charlton Heston's awful. He's so bad. Susie, wait over there. He's not even. What is he doing? I've never liked his acting anyway. I've never thought much of Charlton Heston overall.
Damn him all to hell.
He talks. Yeah. So
really, you don't like Charlton Heston?
No, never was a fan.
Planet of the Apes?
No. I mean, he's okay. I'm just not.
Really? Okay.
No, I'd rather give me Robert Redford, Paul Newman, Charlton Heston. Yeah. Sir Lawrence Olivier,
Robert Redford.
you know, Alec Guinness, like those guys were. Steve McQueen. Never liked Charlton Heston. Never did it for me. But that's just me. All right.
Okay.
That's all I got. Has anybody got anything else? We wrap this puppy up. We're almost at 3 hours.
Oh, get out of town. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Apparently, while we were talking, Netflix pulled Chappelle's show because Dave Chappelle doesn't want people to watch it anymore.
It was all week. He's not making any money off of it.
He should.
I don't think he really cares about the money because he walked away from a huge contract with Comedy Central.
He talked about it on the SNL opening 2 weeks or 2 weeks.
Did he?
ago.
That was his prime, and
He got
unfortunately.
it's a whole thing, you know, and he makes them money with his specials, so they conceded. I think.
Oh boy.
I just don't think he's funny anymore. I don't know.
I think he's funny.
Do you? I love the Chappelle show, but I don't know. His new stuff I can't really get into.
Right on cue. This just happened. It's like they're listening to us. Disney Plus.
Read the comic.
And his amazing friends.
Comic. Come on.
These characters.
He's supposed to be an asshole too. Because in the comic he was, remember?
I
He
know.
was the only mutant that was like, fuck you, Professor X. I'm not fucking joining your team. Fuck
Apparently,
you.
because he's Japanese, you can't make him an asshole. Okay.
That was the best part about him in the comic, is when he was telling Professor X.
But it came from like a pride in his country. Like he wanted to go back and be a superhero for his country, not you know, and he didn't want to like join the team. That's
right.
That was his thing.
But we're going way back now. I mean, this character was written
early
80s.
Again, no editors and clearly a first draft. This episode, Sunfire, deals with an appearance from the eponymous mutant hero who falls in love with Starfire. No, that would be Firestar.
Yeah, what the? That's not Starfire.
No, I know they get, you know, nobody edits these stories.
Jinky.
Wow.
You know, and it's probably this artwork. They're like, oh Jesus. But again, 1981.
They're like apologizing something from 1981.
Yeah.
Holy cow! Did you see that with the swastika?
Where?
Yeah, you went right past it.
Oh, that's because they're fighting the Red Skull.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Quest of the Red Skull was completely removed from Disney Plus. 2 episodes featuring Nazi imagery, including swastikas and cries of "Hail Hitler."
Of course, yeah.
But that's Skull Nazi.
This stuff's been around. This stuff's been on.
Bad.
This stuff has been in.
Again, I have this on physical media, so fuck off, Disney Plus.
I don't understand. This stuff's been around since the 60s. In fact, this was a comic that people read back when the war was going on, because that you wanted to watch Captain America kick fucking Nazi ass in the comic.
Exactly.
And what an opportunity.
That was the point.
I mean, to have a conversation about what's going on. I mean, that's how we learn about things. Like, why it doesn't make sense to, you know, they're not glorifying it; they're talking about it. Like,
Right. And this Captain America's in this episode with them, and they go to stop a Red Skull.
These people don't read comics. That's the problem. They don't read comics.
They don't read anything. They don't read anything.
I mean, when I was a kid and I read these comics back in the day with swastikas and stuff, all I knew was swastika bad, Captain America good.
Right.
I didn't know the difference. I just knew it was bad, and that was it.
From now on, villains will have to be white, wear non-ethnic clothing, and be male misogynists. American flags are optional, but out of the question.
It's just bullshit.
Thank goodness. Now a woke white SJW won't get offended over a 40-year-old cartoon. Good, because as we all know, the characters are only allowed to be depicted negatively in 2020 or straight white male ones.
God, so bad.
Yeah, it's... Oh my God. Now I can die in peace.
These
That
people,
movie Wolverine has to have an internet infant warning. That's what they are, infant warnings. You're a fucking infant.
Mm-hmm.
Or what did Bill Maher, you know, part of what I cut out because it was too long and I couldn't upload it if it was too long. He says something like, if you sit there on Twitter all day, you know, attacking this stuff, maybe the outside world's not for you.
Mm-hmm. Everyone should go back and watch that. It's a great.
Yeah.
My whole family watched. I was like, oh my God, because I was like clapping. I was like, saying exactly what we say.
Me too. Every person on Twitter who does this is a gimp. End of story. You're a gimp.
I don't know. I mean, I'll I watched a lot of cartoons growing up, like G.I. Joe, He-Man, and all these other stuff, and I bet you they can go back in time now and try to pull stuff out of them. But as a
He-Man, that's
kid,
toxic masculinity. Are you kidding me?
as a kid, I never saw those things as adults saw them.
Right.
I mean, there's cartoons where there's phallic shit all over the place, and I never saw them as a kid. Like, oh, that looks like a penis. You don't know. Like, you know what I'm trying to say is that as when you're a kid, you just don't.
Yeah,
things differently.
You don't care. You're into the escapism of the story.
That's right. That's right.
You're not sitting there going, "Oh, geez, oh my God, there's a swastika there." I knew as a little boy
that thing. Right. I didn't know. I. It was good against evil. It was bad. You knew it was bad.
Right. So,
I mean, it didn't make me want to go draw it on my book covers at school. You know?
I'm with the bad guys.
It's just I don't understand. Like this.
Or if I did, I'd draw the swastika and then a cartoon of my teacher and put the arrow pointing at the teacher.
but this stuff didn't make people worse. I mean, I'd like to think we all grew up fine.
No, you're pretty dysfunctional.
I know. But you know what I mean? Like it's kind of like when I hear these stories about my grandmother used to let my dad play with mercury with his finger kind of thing, and my dad turned out fine. I mean, there's things that have happened that people are fine. Like, why now do you have to make a change?
I don't know. We used to ride around in the back of a pickup truck without seatbelts and bounce all over the place, and we're still here.
Well, you are. How many people aren't?
Yeah, right.
There are like a lot that are.
But it shows that it's an issue where people who are offended are the only ones writing these articles. No one else is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, no, the people writing the articles are laughing at the people.
Right. I need to say something because I'm offended, but is anybody else? No, but I need to write something. You know.
All the guys on this site, especially, are they put these stories up because they're like, "What the fuck?" You know, they're totally, you know, they don't get it either. So yeah, here they go. This is the casting call for the new Obi-Wan show.
Ugh, I wish they wouldn't do this.
A female BIPOC whose character details are kept under wraps. Supporting BIPOC, supporting quirky comedic male, supporting Latinx.
The best thing Star Wars can do is get away from the soap opera and make new characters.
And notice this one right here, Edson.
Well, I don't know. The last time they tried it, it sucked pretty hard.
Harold male, late 20s, 30s, supporting quirky comedic male. That's the white guy. He's going to be the guy who falls down and trips, and they point and laugh at him. And yep. Meanwhile, you have the female person of color, another person of color, and a Latinx.
And they'll all teach Obi-Wan how to.
And they'll all teach Obi-Wan
lightsaber.
all about his shortcomings as a white toxic male. Yes.
Well, we know Uncle Ben. What was his? Yeah, Uncle Ben.
Yeah, Uncle Ben.
Uncle Ben hated him, right?
Uncle Ben hated him.
Owen.
Uncle Owen. I don't know why I said Uncle
Spider-Man.
Uncle Owen hated him. Remember, he still hang out with that guy.
Yeah.
You got to work on the moisture farm. You can't go to the academy and stay away from that old man.
Should have picked some pumpkin berries.
What about that one?
I don't understand why Uncle Owen hated him, because at the end of Return of the Sith, he basically gave Luke to them to take care of.
Because he knew if Luke met Obi-Wan, the whole thing was going to start over again.
True.
So he didn't want Luke going near the guy. He knew what was going to happen. And look what happened. He got burned up.
Obi-Wan in some damn foolite enlisted crusade like his father did.
Exactly. And look what happened. Luke got him all burned up. That's what you get for not listening to your uncle. All right. Anything else?
Alrighty then.
Okay, before you leave, though,
we're going to check in on Billy Mitchell one more time.
Yeah, we could do that.
Check in on Billy Mitchell. Let's see how he's doing. I still haven't eaten dinner. It's 10 o'clock.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
You haven't eaten dinner yet.
No.
What do you want to eat?
Not probably a salad.
Yoda cereal.
Yoda cereal.
No,
I'm telling you, it's really that good. In fact, I'm low in milk and I'm a little bit depressed.
Use water.
Is up or not? What are you doing?
Use water. That's something my mom would say. Use water.
Use beer.
I think I did that as a kid once or twice.
All right. How's Billy doing here?
Did I do this right?
No, go full screen.
How do I?
What the heck?
Down in the corner. No, down in the corner of the Twitch feed. It's got the little crosshair thing.
Wait, I am full screen.
No, go down in the corner.
A black square with like
Down in the bottom in the black, there's a little target thing that down in the
no.
in the
Right
right
there.
up there. Down right there.
What are we doing?
Not there.
All right, what's he up to? 358. He was at like 90.
No, he actually started over. I think he,
He's break. I think he's taking a break. How do you get the ghost just?
yeah, see, he's taking a break. See, he knows exactly where the ghosts are going to go, so you can just chill. That's how good he is at this.
Up there he goes.
You can just hide it.
He's eating something. No, I can see his hands on the thing.
So Edson,
It was off for a second though.
So Edson, you know who Billy Mitchell is, right?
Yep.
He's trying to get a perfect score on Pac-Man, obviously, at Galloping Ghost, which is like one of the biggest arcades in the U.S. And the machine he's on is like a Namco variety cab, which is certified by Namco. I guess Namco had to come and look at the cabinet to make sure he's not cheating.
Wow. Okay.
And he's been doing this for 7 days. For 7 days, he's trying to get a perfect score. So you eat all the pellets, all the power pellets, you eat all the fruit and coin or keys, and I guess
he knows just where to hide, huh?
Get to the kill screen.
I think he's trying to get them all to go in a line. Oh no, I don't know what he's doing.
So he does this tunnel thing, which is kind of interesting, where he goes in the tunnel and he kind of does this like back and forth motion, and they get trapped. In there.
Here we go.
See?
Oh, they were gonna go.
Yeah.
Oh! No way.
That's it for you, buddy. That's
We
it.
saw it. Billy Mitchell died.
Oh my god.
Not good. Not good.
We saw it live.
Billy.
He's been at this.
He's
pissed. He's just trying to get himself.
He's got to be pissed. He's just letting him die now.
Yeah.
He's been doing this.
Start over now. He's got to start over.
I know. It takes 5 hours to get.
You got to do it without dying once, right, Jude?
Yes, without dying once.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, he's just killing all his lives. He's got to start from scratch.
Yep.
Oh, this is great.
He's got 2 more.
I'm glad we checked in on him.
So he's been doing this for 7 days at this
You got to
arcade.
start over again. He's going to be there another 7 days, right?
Do you think he started over? In the 7 days, has he started over multiple times?
He hasn't achieved the perfect game yet.
Oh, he's going to stay there till he does it.
The thing is
Or
that
does he only have 7 days to do it and then he's out?
no, he's been there for a week.
Oh,
Wait, is he going to go back?
wow.
Oh my God!
Starting at 0. Oh, jeez.
Holy
cow! They
Wow.
They estimate it takes 5 hours to get a perfect game to the kill screen, and this is his at least 3rd or 4th time I've seen him today. So you figure he started this morning, and what time is it now? This is Illinois, so what are they back an hour?
2 hours, maybe?
1, I think.
1 hour? All right. It's 9 o'clock.
So 5 hours from now, from 9 o'clock. Wow. I don't know how he does. He's like 60 something years old. I mean, the man's probably got a bladder. Like, you know, I can imagine he's got to take a piss. 60-year-old bladder. I mean,
Well, you think one of the times when he died, he would have taken a break for a few minutes, like, you know.
Is that
you know what's really funny, dude? He wears a suit when he does this too. He's got like a full
Yeah,
suit.
he wears the jeans with the tie and the, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's 55. He's 55.
So how did he get so many lives so quick?
Yeah, it started out with
Yeah, usually only get 2 extra lives, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he's cheating.
That's him.
Yeah.
Oh
All
my.
How do I stop there?
Oh.
Ladies.
Yeah, you should look at his wife. His wife is beautiful. Wow.
Well, they put a beard on her, but maybe she's a beard. I don't know. If you get a chance, though, watch this documentary, King of
Kong is amazing.
It's
You can actually watch it free on YouTube. Just type in King of Kong and it's on.
Yep.
I think it's on Amazon Prime for free too, if you're Prime.
He's a character. I
Used to
mean,
love
he
Donkey Kong.
legitimately is a character.
I know I love Donkey Kong too. That was my favorite.
That original one. Oh.
In fact, in the movie Pixels, what's his face plays him.
Peter Dinklage plays him. Yeah.
Peter Dinklage. Plays him.
I was gonna say he kind of looks like Peter.
Yeah, no, he
Dinklage.
played him in Pixel.
Okay, well, there you go. Back to our representation thing. Billy Mitchell's like 6'1".
Right, and he does. He
Peter Dinklage, who's like
He
4 foot.
looks like him. Peter Dinklage kind of looks like he could definitely pull that off.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Definitely check out King of Kong, and then the other one I watched on. You could find that one on YouTube too, and I know Keith, you watched it, and I think
that's good.
Too. Chasing Ghosts.
Chasing Ghosts.
Did you watch that one, Pete?
I have not seen that one. No.
Oh, you gotta see that one. It's
Yeah,
just as good.
Yep. It's more about the referee who used to referee all those tournaments. It's,
Walter Day.
Oh,
Walter Day.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. They're both good.
I'm telling you, the people, how they are now, their characters. I mean, they're just the weirdest.
I'm sure.
They're the guy who collects the spiders, and then the guy who collects all the pornography, and he's really serious about it. They're just weird people.
And then he watches
Weird people.
one guy. He has a full-time job, and then he goes home and he watches videotapes, VHS videotapes of people playing these games, and looks for them cheating and stuff.
Wow.
For hours, and that's what he does. He's got like boxes filled of just tapes that people enter, and he sits there and he just watches them.
Yeah.
With his cat.
Yeah.
He's like, I only sleep like an hour or two. And then he's got like the hugest collection of like artistic pornography. Like it's all like artwork. And he's like showing it.
Like Frank Frazetta kind of stuff. Yeah.
And he's showing it. He's really serious about it. He's like, I bought this piece for $1,500. I asked the artist to commission this. And you're like looking at him like, what? Dude, what?
It's a case study in dysfunctional people.
No, fun.
Oh, no, it's hilarious.
Fun. It's hilarious. Yeah.
These people are out there.
What's great is it's validation to know you're okay.
That's why I watch Hoarding sometimes, the Hoarder show.
Right.
Feel a little bit better.
It's kind of like when you go to a Comic-Con. It's like you go to a Comic-Con sometimes and you see these people and you're like, oh my God, like this antisocial, just so into what they're into that nothing else in life is.
At least they have a happy place to go to, though.
And it's funny because when we have tables at these things and you get stuck talking to some of them for a while, and I'm so nice. I feel bad. Like you can pick up on it immediately, and you're just like, oh, and they won't go away.
Mm-hmm. They're just happy to have someone to talk to.
You're trying to be polite, and they're going on, and it's like, yeah, it's rough. Those are long weekends sometimes. But you got to take the good with the bad, and I always feel bad. I'm just like, man, this poor dude, like,
Yeah.
And they don't know it,
You're like, how does this happen? How did they get stuck in this fairy tale world where they can't break through to reality? Yeah.
Anyway, King of Kong and Chasing Ghosts, they're both on YouTube for free. So if you have a Fire Stick or something, just put on your YouTube app and look it up.
I found them both on Amazon Prime. So if you have Prime, they are in full high def there too. So
and they're totally worth a watch. And
they're fun.
Walter Day alone is worth a watch. He's great. He's out there. He's
get him as a guest. Go find him for us.
I actually tried to friend him on Facebook. They didn't friend me.
Oh.
He's really into transcendental meditation. Transcendental.
Mm-hmm. He's a hippie.
Yeah.
So.
All
right.
You want to go quickly over what people are watching, or do you want to skip that?
We can skip that.
Okay. I always ask every time we do a stream.
I know. I'm hungry.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
I got to pee.
All
right, guys.
Around the horn. Stacy, thank you. You were outstanding as usual. Jude, great job. The Billy Mitchell thing. Awesome. Glad you brought that. Pedro, thanks for coming in remote. Solid as always. And Edson, thank you for joining us halfway through as usual with your witty banter and
thanks for having me.
Common sense insight. You are a voice of reason on this show. We need voices of reason. Because I have
that's why you got Stacy.
Yeah, Stacy's great. Yeah, you guys are. This is a good group here. I like it.
Me
of course.
Good stuff. Happy Thanksgiving, you guys.
Oh,
I know.
Yeah,
right.
happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's right. That was in our show notes to say something we were thankful for, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think anymore. My brain's melted.
Yeah, your brain is starving.
And I'm getting like punchy.
Yeah.
So
I'm thankful for all of you and the opportunity to be here every
Aww.
Tuesday.
it has to go out on a lie.
It's not a lie.
I know.
It just gives me some time away from some of the issues that are going on in real life. So
it's a good thing.
Yeah. No, you know what? That's a good point. Thank you all for jumping aboard my crazy little adventure here. I think we have something cool that we're slowly building, and if the numbers from the first month are any indication, it's going to be all up from here. So,
well, I'm thankful everybody's healthy and doesn't have COVID.
The coof.
She stole your gag, Pete.
I did. I was sitting here. I'm like,
Well, yeah, I don't have my little notebook with me, so that's okay.
I had a little.
All I have is this in my arms. I'm sorry.
I think going forward, I got to get a co-pilot in here to help.
Where's Alan?
No, like one of you guys. Just there's like stuff that we can pop up, like
Where is Alan?
I don't know.
I haven't seen Alan in many moons. I'm calling you out, Alan, on stream.
Yeah.
Oops.
Banners.
Yeah. There's banners and the chat and all that stuff. It's hard.
You didn't put the logo up this week either. I just realized.
See.
I
Yeah.
just realized it. Yeah.
I could do that stuff.
Yeah. So
I switch stuff live for a living. I can do it.
Yeah. It's just someone to because if I'm rolling in videos and stuff, it's to watch the comments from fly banners and all that stuff. And you're right, Stacy. I'm a bad boy. I didn't put that in there. Come on. I think this mouse is I keep clicking things and it won't respond. I think it's time for a new mouse.
Did you ever see those little breakout boxes with the buttons?
Yeah, I want to get one of those down the road.
What are they called?
The Elgato.
Yeah. You can assign buttons. It's a little box, and you send the buttons. You just push it, and the graphic happens.
He's gonna fall asleep.
Yeah, we're all feeling that way.
Yeah, it's the Elgato Stream Deck.
Ooh,
Black Friday mega sale. Ooh,
fancy pants.
How much?
Clicking on it. Come on, it's this mouse, man. I'm telling you. Do you hear how hard I'm hitting the button?
Yeah, use my mouse.
How much is it for?
The smaller one here, I'm putting it up.
Okay, good.
The smaller one's down to 80, but the small one kind of sucks. I'd rather get this one.
You only get 4. Yeah, but look.
I don't get the giant one, but the regular Stream Deck, this one, not the mini.
Right. So you can assign whatever you want to those, like a script, and you just push it.
And you could put social media and chat. And you just push the buttons, and it pops them up, and it's easier than toggling into windows. And
oh wow.
Yeah,
they're pretty neat. And each button is actually interactive, so you could actually put a picture or a video in there.
Right.
Okay.
What we can use it for is to use StreamYard to put us all in the room, and then send it through OBS and use OBS to go out. So we can build a cool interface or whatever.
They're definitely cool, but they're expensive.
Yeah. I am planning on getting one down the road. If this works, let's evolve this a little bit before I spend money on it.
So we're still live, yeah?
We're still live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Subscribe to us. Bring us into your lives.
All right, gang. I think it's time to say goodbye for another week.
Yeah.
Who wants to say it?
See you next